Welcome into the Brick Lane pregame show. Josh Sperber here with Mark Antonini, a.k.a. Aussie Mike, after a great start by the Aces to the series against the Perth Heat, two of the top teams in the Southwest Conference.
Yeah, Josh, great to get a series opening win last night, a come-from-behind win, and like we talked about on the broadcast all last night, this Aces team has spent most of the season so far playing from behind. It doesn't faze them, and it turned out to be a win last night, and pretty eventful and exciting one at that.
And that proved to be the case. In the seventh inning last night was when the scoring started. Ulrich Bojarski hit a two-run home run for the Perth Heat. But in the bottom of the seventh, Melbourne came storming right back.
Yeah, and it really started with the walks to Whitefield and Robson. That really set the tone. Only one hit for the Aces up to that point in the game, so they had to find another way to get guys on base, move them over. Whitefield and Robson did a great job taking pitches, letting Catalina come to them, knowing that he just couldn't find the strike zone. And then from there, it set the table for J.D. Osborne. And, sometimes it doesn't take a hit to start a rally, and that's what happened last night.
And we'll talk a little bit more about Osborne in a second, but how about that base running play by Jacob Robson to score that tying run? Just heads up and intelligent base running from the Aces right fielder.
Yeah, he saw an opportunity to make a dash for home and try to push that tying run across on the base hit. And he got himself caught in a rundown, but excellent base running to not give up on the play. He didn't just stop and say, all right, I'm going to get tagged. He kept going and was able to push that run across. And from there, it kind of unraveled for Perth in the inning, and it led to good things for the Aces.
I mean, he did technically get tagged, just the ball was not in the catcher's glove. Aces ended up scoring the go-ahead run on a sacrifice fly hit by Ryan Dale, and then in the bottom of the eighth inning, it was J.D. Osborne once again.
Yeah, some much-needed insurance, and Steve Kent was able to close it out without allowing a run. But just having that breathing room to work with in the ninth inning was huge. And J.D. Osborne, a guy who had hit a lot of balls hard in his first 3 games of the season, but only had one hit to show for it. He finally found some outfield grass a few times last night, and it was really good to see him making those adjustments throughout the game and continuing to hit the ball hard.
His 2 hits came in the 7th and the 8th inning. He scored the go-ahead run. He drove in 4 runs in the Aces' 5-2 victory against the Perth Heat. But you got to give a lot of credit to the pitching staff as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is an Aces pitching staff that continues to dominate opposing hitters. Brian Flynn made quick work of the Perth lineup through the first 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, already has 16 strikeouts through 2 starts this season to lead the ABL. It was impressive to watch, and when a starter can just run through an opposing lineup like that, it sets the tone for the bullpen and the guys coming in later.
And we're talking about dominant starting pitching performances. Dan McGrath is on the hill tonight. He only let up 3 runs on a solo home run, but the first complete game of the ABL season in his last time out against Geelong.
Yeah, McGrath really kept hitters off balance in that Geelong lineup all day, and he was working quickly, and that really kept Geelong just kind of, you couldn't step out in just the batting gloves and take some practice cuts. It was get back in the box and go, and McGrath dictated the pace of the game, and that's one of the reasons why he was successful.
And we'll see if he has the same kind of success against the Perth Heat tonight. McGrath's second start of the season. It's going to be hard to follow up that complete game, though. But we're going to follow up this Brick Lane pregame show by kicking back, having some of these non-alcoholic sidewinders. I still think there's alcohol in them.
Yeah, these are really good, Josh. Looking forward to having a good call up in the booth. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Fire me up, Darryl George. A 2-run shot, the Aces take an early lead. A walk-off grand slam for Matt O'Neill.
Right field, Ulrich Bojarski. Second base is Pete Cosma.
It's another beautiful day for baseball here in Melbourne. Barely a cloud in the sky, blue skies, and a nice hot day as the Aces take on the Perth Heat. Welcome into Aces TV. Josh Sperber alongside Mark Antonini here as the Aces look to make it 4 straight tonight against division rival Perth.
Yeah, excited to see what the Aces do tonight. Dan McGrath on the mound threw a complete game in his last outing. Just got to build off that. And the bats got going late last night, so that'll be fun. And, Josh, the most important thing is I'm just excited not to be layered up with a beanie on in the booth tonight. I mean, I got the quarter zip on. I could be in short sleeves if I wanted to. Really nice night for a ball game.
Yeah, only J.D. Osborne's allowed to wear a beanie because that seems to be his batting practice look. And after the game he had last night, he can do just about anything he wants.
Yeah, J.D. was fantastic. And I talked about it last night during the broadcast, how from the start of the season up until last night, only 4 games, but it just seemed like every time he went up to the dish, he was making those in-at-bat adjustments, from one plate appearance to the next, making the adjustments. And he squared 3 balls up last night, ended up with 2 hits. And like you said, it was the J.D. Osborne game.
It really was. 5 runs by the Aces. He scored 1 of them. He drove in the other 4. A fantastic outing for Osborne, but you can't overlook the Aces pitching as well. A great start by Brian Flynn and some good bullpen work as well.
Brian Flynn's been so good in his Aces tenure. Sub-2 ERA last year, and he's trending that way again this year. He's got the ERA under 2 once again. He's been fantastic. I mean, it's gotten to a point where opposing hitters can't even make contact. 16 strikeouts in 2 starts. He only went 5 innings last night. The pitch count was a little high, threw 96 pitches to get through those 5 innings. Part of that was because of all the strikeouts, but he was really good, and the bullpen picked up right where he left off after.
Yeah, about a strikeout and a half per inning for Brian Flynn. He had a great start to the season, as has Dan McGrath, who's getting the start after a complete game in his last outing.
Yeah, Dan was fantastic last time out. He was mowing down that GK lineup and kept the pitch count low. That's why he was able to go, and hopefully he does it again tonight.
We'll see what he does tonight. We're going to take a quick pause for the Australian national anthem before we get started. Fireworks before the game. Fans stick around for fireworks after the game as well here at Melbourne Ballpark. And as we're about ready to get going, we're going to take a look at the new era technology starting lineups for the Melbourne Aces. It's Dan McGrath on the mound and a couple of small changes in the lineup for Melbourne. But again, we've talked about the depth in this lineup so often this year. And when you got a guy like Aaron Whitefield who can lead off and hit in the middle of the order as well, you're in good shape.
Yeah, Aaron Whitefield at top. You can't go wrong penciling him into that number 1 spot in the order. Yeah, looking at the rest of the line, you go Aaron Whitefield, Chris Burke, Robbie Glendinning. That's a really solid top 3, all 3 on the Australian national team. 4 through 6, Jacob Robson, J.D. Osborne, and Jared Dale. Confidence in those guys. And, of course, the bottom of the order. One of the better bottom of the orders in the league, and Matt O'Neill, a guy who's hit 4 and 5 for this team over the first few games. He's in the 7-hole. Ryan Dale and Jared Cruz, 2 Melbourne veterans in the 8 and 9 holes.
You got both the Dale brothers in the lineup for the first time this season, and that's going to create quite an infield partnership on the left side. Ryan is going to be at third, Jared Dale at shortstop, and he's batting 6th tonight. Someone that Melbourne wants to get a bit more offensive production from, though.
Yeah, just the second game of the season for Jared tonight, so trying to get him going, get him in a groove, and get him locked in, because when he's on, they know how good of a hitter he is, and probably going to be a top-of-the-lineup guy once he's locked in.
Certainly is. He was in the top of the lineup in his debut yesterday, was batting leadoff. Jared Cruz, another guy back in the lineup. He's been a fantastic utility man in his Melbourne Aces career.
Yeah, so versatile, and wherever you throw him on the diamond, he's going to make plays with his glove. And he can swing the bat a little bit, and really like him as that double leadoff out of the 9-hole.
Yeah, he's had a couple of big singles in that number 9 spot, and 9 really seems to be the key number as Dan McGrath is taking the mound as we take a quick look at the keys to the game as we get ready for first pitch.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest key for this team, for the Aces offensively, is to get going early. String some hits together early, put a rally together, because last night only 4 hits in total, and 3 of them came from the 7th inning on. So get started a little earlier tonight. build off the momentum that McGrath gave this team the last time he was out, and also 3 straight wins for this Aces team. And you figure they can put together a rally at some point with this Aces lineup.
And this is a lineup that just looks so locked in at BP, day in and day out. Same here today, all enjoying the beautiful weather. And we're enjoying the beautiful pitching of Dan McGrath, who gets Tim Kennelly to foul one off, a 1-2 count to the Heat leadoff man.
Yeah, another key for this Aces team, and we'll talk about it on the flip side when the Aces come to bat, but Brock Gilliam, the starter for Perth, did not walk a batter in his first start of the season. So be ready to hit. This team's got to be ready to hit. Can't be looking for walks against this guy.
McGrath, not a guy who walked a lot of batters, as Kennelly hits that one down the left field line, and that's going to drop. Hit on the warning track for extra bases. The longtime Perth Heat player is on second with a stand-up double. A good way to start off the game for the Heat, and really a rare hit that we've seen against McGrath after his complete game.
Yeah, a little surprising to see that, especially the first batter of the game go to the left field corner and pick up an extra base hit. But McGrath he's a veteran. He knows how to pitch and he knows how to work with runners on, although he didn't have to do that. Didn't have to work with many runners on his last time out.
And McGrath let up just one extra base hit, a ninth-inning home run to Song Chan Oi, as that one is hit high in the air, another gapper, but it's tracked down, and Kennelly is running all the way home, so they're going to double him up.
It's a double play.
Wow. Poor base running by Tim Kennelly. He thought that was going to drop, and Willie Vasquez hits into your classic 8-4 double play.
Yeah, we see that every day, but not a good read at all from Kennelly. Taking a look at the replay, off the bat, I thought it was in the gap. I will say that, but you look at that All-Star Axis Higher replay right there, a little bit off the end of the bat for Vasquez. If he barrels that up, it's on the warning track. But luckily for the Aces, no need to worry about a jam. 2 gone and no one on.
Correction, it's a 7-4 double play. Chris Burke made the catch. Now, former Major Leaguer Josh Reddick has a 1-0 count to him. And that kind of sums up the defensive fortune that McGrath has had. Certainly, luck is not involved in his pitching. He has been spectacular. He was spectacular in his last start, but the defense from the Aces certainly helps him out.
Absolutely.
The 2-0. Sliced high in the air, third base line, and foul.
And not a conventional way to get 2 outs in an inning, but because of the way that unfolded there, the pitch count's low, and he has a chance to get out of this with under 10 pitches.
And minimal pitches is certainly an MO for Dan McGrath. 92 pitches in that complete game against Geelong last week, as that one's towed off the end of the bat, 2-2.
Probably would have been a complete game shutout if he didn't run into the hottest hitter in the ABL right now, in Song Chan Oi in the ninth inning in that game.
Yeah, the hitter and pitcher of round 1 both played at Melbourne Ballpark to start off the season. It was Song Chan Oi, who had a home run in every game in that first round against Melbourne, but Dan McGrath earning the Pitcher of the Week honors with his complete game. A full count now to Reddick, a guy who we've talked on and on about his major league career, but the lefty matchup for him proved tough with Brian Flynn last night.
Yeah, he didn't look great at the plate, and most guys didn't. Another opportunity here for McGrath.
And that will be the second base runner of the game. Josh Reddick has reached twice via walk. Still no hits against this Aces pitching staff. And a 2-out base runner for Perth to bring up Junior Caminero.
Well, now McGrath another chance to work out of the stretch. And Junior Caminero, a tough out at the plate. Look at what he did last night. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. So Brian Flynn and company kept him, pretty quiet. See if McGrath can do the same.
But those were tough strikeouts. It's not like it was 0-2, 0-2, 0-2. The strikeouts came on 2 full counts and a 2-2 count. So Caminero, certainly a guy who battles.
And the strikeout in the third inning was huge because at the time Flynn had walked the previous 2 hitters. He had walked Cosma and Reddick. So, scoreless game at that point, 2 on, a man in scoring position. Bearing down after the 2 walks was huge.
And a throwback to first base. They've got Reddick in a pickle. Throw over to second. Cruz is going to pitch it back to McGrath, who makes the tag to end the inning. So a fantastic pickoff move Let's 1-3-4-1 on the out, and that will end the inning. Caminero will lead off the top half of the second, but the Aces come to bat in the bottom of the first here on Aces TV.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Well, we mentioned it a little bit in the Brick Lane pregame show, but it's another beautiful day for baseball here at Melbourne Ballpark, which means it's time to take a look at the Vibrant Services weather.
Yeah, I'd go out on a limb, Josh, and say it's the best weather we've had in Melbourne since we've gotten to town about a month ago. 20 degrees Celsius. We like seeing the number right around there. 24 kilometers per hour with the wind. Not a lot of wind in the ballpark. 56% humidity and 0% chance of rain. Haven't been able to say that too often, but I love it.
I don't know about you, Mike, but I think that's my favorite stat from the Vibrant Services weather forecast today.
Yeah, absolutely. Forget about everything else. Forget about all the stats we got written down on our scorebook and all the paper. 0% chance of rain. That's the stat of the night.
Does not get much better than that.
Numbers never lie, but you know this weather in Melbourne's pretty unpredictable, so the weather better not lie tonight.
Doesn't look like it. Pretty clear skies. And Aaron Whitefield at the plate leading things off for Melbourne, hoping to pierce the skies with a baseball. Still looking for his first hit as an ace, a guy who won a couple of Helms Awards with the visiting Perth Heat. The right-hander Brock Gilliam on the hill deals as Whitefield fouls it down the third base line.
I have a feeling whenever Whitefield picks up that first hit as an ace, it's going to be a big one. You know, it's not just going to be like a bloop single. I mean, we're talking extra bases. Well, maybe a homer. Be nice to kick off this one with a long ball.
And I mean, you gotta expect that from a guy of his caliber. As the pitch misses outside, a fastball makes it 1-1.
And I like that he's back in the leadoff spot tonight. A chance to try to get him going, get him potentially an extra at bat towards the end of the game. See some more pitches.
I think they're going to want him towards the middle of the order once the season rolls on, but now they just want to get him some more at bats. As he chops this one to third, rushing play for Caminero, fires to first, one out in the bottom of the first.
And for those who don't follow Major League Baseball or baseball back in the United States, I mean, that's been a trend over the last 2, 3, 4 years. It used to be you'd want your best hitters hitting 3, 4, 5, 6. Nowadays in Major League Baseball, to try to get them as many at-bats as possible, a lot of teams will stack their best hitters 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, a big example of a team back in the States that does that are the New York Yankees. You frequently see Anthony Rizzo in the leadoff spot. He did so for the Cubs when he won the series there in 2016. And to try and get Aaron Judge's 60th home run for about 5 games at least, the Yankees put Judge, the best power hitter in baseball from 2022, in the leadoff spot.
And it makes a lot of sense just looking at it logically. You know, if you're in the leadoff spot, you're going to get up a lot quicker.
Oh, and I forgot to add, Judge named the MVP today, so usually your MVP is not the guy you see in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, leading off play in center field most nights, that's not what you expect from a guy who hits 62 homers.
Yeah. I know Roger Maris and Babe Ruth didn't hit in the leadoff spot when they played for the Yankees, I'll tell you that much.
With the MVPs being announced today, that pretty much wraps up awards season.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later on. So the 0-2 to Burke comes, and he fouls it into the Heat dugout.
But then you get in a situation like this. You got Chris Burke hitting in the 2-hole. He's, from what I've seen of Chris, he's a prototypical 2-hole hitter, a guy who's going to get his bat on the ball, not try to do too much with it. You saw he's got a couple multi-hit games this year. Just tries to single up and hit the ball hard somewhere up the middle of the diamond.
0-2 misses outside, and yeah, he's a guy who has the power. You can tell in his swing that when he hits the ball hard. But contrary to what's become a trend in baseball in the United States, he's not trying to hit a homer on every pitch. He's just trying to get the barrel on it. 1-2, sliced high and foul. We'll do it again.
Yeah, a guy who can keep that line moving, and we saw it happen in that 13-inning game where he was at bat when the game resumed the next day in the bottom of the 13th with 2 men on and first pitch single. Not trying to hit a walk-off home run. Just keep the line moving and get the next guy up there.
Of course, they did get a walk-off grand slam that day, but that's neither here nor there. 1-2, slice foul again.
Tough guy to strike out as well.
And I think that ball might have got through the netting. It definitely ricocheted off the roof. But Burke battling in this at-bat. And another big hit he had was yesterday. Broke up a perfect game bid from Connor Gines. And that one is hit high in the air out to left field. A couple steps before the track is Collins, who makes the one-handed grab for out number 2. Let's take a look at the Perth Heat defense. In the outfield, it's Liam Collins in left, Josh Reddick in center, Ulrich Bojarski in right. Infield, Jake Bowie at first base, Pete Kozma at second. And then two of the Rays' top 30 prospects, Willie Vasquez and Junior Caminero at short and third. Alex Hall's the battery mate for Brock Gilliam. And as you mentioned, Mike, 0 walks in the first start of the season for Brock.
Yeah, so control and command, it's going to be a theme that we talk about throughout the night. And like I said, in the keys to the game, just be up there ready to hit. Guys, you got the chance to work walks, but don't expect it.
And Robbie Glendinning at the plate, always ready to hit. This time he takes a fastball for a called first strike. It was a career batting average above 350 in the ABL. Another transfer, I guess you can say. A lot of these local Australian players will usually stay with their hometown team, and the Melbourne Aces poach 2 of the best.
Yeah, and I think it's, I haven't yet talked to Whitefield and Glendinning about it, why they came over here yet, but I got to believe, the product that the Aces put out every season has something to do with it.
That and the rings. And Glendinning smacks this one up the middle for a base hit. Second hit for the Aces for Robbie Glendinning, and their first hit in today's game.
Yeah, Robbie's a really good hitter. A guy who he's just hit at every level he's been at. And taking a look at the replay here, just a really quiet approach at the dish, simple swing, stays up the middle and hits it hard.
Next to All-Star Access Hire for our replay. They also sponsor our All-Star Bar out in right field, where Jacob Robson might be looking to pull the ball. Left-handed hitter against a righty with 1 on and 2 outs for Melbourne. Another guy they kind of poached. He played in Sydney the last year he was in the ABL, as Robson lets a fastball hit the outside corner for a called first strike.
Well, I've talked to a lot of people in the baseball industry that have some connection to the ABL, guys that have played in the league, guys that know players who've played in the league, and everybody says that this Melbourne facility here at Melbourne Ballpark is the best.
Yeah, granted, I haven't seen any other ABL facilities yet, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. And that is lined into the gap in left center field for a base hit. Glendinning's going to take a sharp turn around second, but he'll hold up. 2 straight 2-out singles for Melbourne as Jacob Robson looking to get his hitting streak started again.
A little opposite field action there from Jacob, taking one through that hole between short and third. And the shortstop Vasquez was pinching up the middle a little bit there, and Robson's just able to send it through the hole between short and third.
He can hit it just about everywhere, and Robson, 5 games as a Melbourne Aces player, he's reached base in all 5 of them.
Yeah, just finding ways. Really patient approach at the plate, and he's going to square one up if he gets one to hit in the zone.
And when we talk about patience, as Alex Hall gives out signs to his infield, trying to tell them how to read A guy who was the Aces' most dangerous hitter last night, J.D. Osborne, delivered in 2 big spots with runners on first and second like he has right here.
Yeah, he was locked in, and I got to imagine he's still locked in.
Certainly seemed that way talking to him at BP today as he grounds the first one to short. Easy play for Vasquez, goes to second to end the inning. So the Aces threaten with 2 two-out singles, but they leave both runners stranded. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left for Melbourne. We head into the top of the second inning, still scoreless here at Melbourne Ballpark.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
The Aces with an unconventional inning on defense in the first. But once again, Daniel McGrath on the hill and getting the job done. First pitch is to Junior Caminero, and though he ended off the first at the plate, that's the first pitch he'll see.
Yeah, McGrath only retired 1 batter in the first inning, but found a way to get 3 outs.
And that one is roped up the middle, and Junior Caminero got a good bit of that baseball. Hot shot single to lead off the second.
Yeah, these Heat hitters seeing the ball well, and aside from Reddick walking, the other 3 batters who have hit all right-handed, and they've all hit the ball really hard, so that's something to keep an eye on.
Just a misread by Tim Cannelli has really changed the outlook of this game. Because that was a well-hit ball by Vasquez, but now it's Caminero who leads off on first base as you get a swing and a miss from Ulrich Bojarski. Provided all of the offense for Perth last night.
Yeah, he had a nice night, hitting the ball hard and was able to drive that home run over the right center field wall, a good piece to the opposite field.
Good pickoff move to first base, but Caminero back ahead of the tag. And Bojarski 2 for 4, a homer and a double. Or 2 for 3, excuse me, also walked in his final at bat back in the 9th. And thusly he's been moved up in the order. But McGrath going right after him, a breaking ball right down Main Street, and Bojarski's fooled. Oh, 0-2 count. McGrath deals. Wave and a whiff, strike 3. Daniel McGrath, 3-pitch see ya to Ulrich Bojarski, and there's 1 away in the second.
Yeah, big punch out, going low and away with the breaking ball there. McGrath in his first start of the season, we talked about it all day that day. The curveball was fantastic, and it looks like he's got that breaking down in the zone again.
That is his 8th strikeout of the season, first of the day. And that curveball just looks like a slider. Really nice sweeping curve. And it got Bojarski a couple times in that at-bat. Another former major leaguer for the Heat sees the curveball, lets it catch the inside corner for a called strike. Pete Kozma at the dish.
Yeah, Pete didn't do much offensively last night, but we know what he's capable of, and Perth saw it in the first series of the season.
Yeah, I feel like A major leaguer on major leaguer matchup as McGrath goes to first unsuccessfully. Brian Flynn knew that the guys he really wanted to attack were Pete Kozma and Josh Reddick, and he silenced them.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He had a game plan, and it's really cool to see a pitcher go out there with the game plan, but then also execute it.
And execute he did, something we can say about every Aces starting pitcher this year, as McGrath once again checking on Junior Caminero. So an 0-1 to Kozma, one out here in the top of the second inning. McGrath deals. And that one is hit on a line out to right center field. A sliding catch and a great play by Whitefield. The throw pulls Osborne off the bag. Almost another incredible double play, but a former ABL Defensive Player of the Year flashing the leather out in center.
Got a great first step on that ball and got to it pretty quickly and was under control when he made that dive. Really nice play by Whitefield, and gotta love that as a pitcher to have a guy like that in the center field who can just go get it anywhere on the field.
And we talked about how good that defense was behind Dan McGrath, showing it again as Alex Hall gets a swing and a miss for first strike.
Yeah, good first pitch change up there from McGrath, changing it up. Hall had a really tough night last night, so you figure he'll be aggressive trying to break out of that 0 for 4 from yesterday's ball game.
A 3-pitch mix for the starter as McGrath deals again. Popped high in the air out to shallow right field. Robson calling off the second baseman, Jared Cruz, and Robson makes the catch. Great defense, and McGrath's first strikeout of the ball game. Keep this one scoreless. They leave a runner stranded due to the Heat. One hit, one left, and we're heading to the bottom of the second. Still scoreless in Melbourne Ballpark. You're watching Aces Baseball on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Once again, great defense pacing the Aces in the second inning. Aaron Whitefield showing why he's a former Defensive Player of the Year winner. And now the batting order for Melbourne tries to do their part.
Like what I saw in the first inning, a couple hits with 2 outs. Good pieces of hitting off the bats of Robbie Glendinning and Jacob Robinson. And that's what I talked about in the pregame. Try to string some hits together early because that was not the case last night.
Yeah, it's pretty rare this season that the Aces have gotten a hit in the first inning, let alone 2, as Jared Dale fouls that off himself for strike 1.
Well, Jared, a guy at the plate who was really hitting the ball well in batting practice. And the ball was just jumping off his bat today. And he hit this one ball over the left center field wall to finish one of his BP rounds. And pretty much everybody on the team was just kind of turned their head and was like, whoa, okay, like kind of like this guy's locked in.
Certainly looks it today, but out ahead of that breaking ball from Gilliam. It's 0-2. Yeah, I think after that one, I just told him to finish up right there. Like, you're good.
That's all
Not
you
going to
need.
hit one much better than that. And he had a couple ones like that, too. 0-2 count to Dale. And here's Gilliam. Out in front of that low breaker. And it's a 3-pitch strikeout for Brock Gilliam. First K of the day for the Perth Heat.
Well, he also wasn't getting sliders like that diving down and away in BP, so big difference there. But, yeah, Jared yesterday, tough day at the plate. Moving him down the lineup a little bit today. Trying to, and, just his second game with the Aces this season, coming over from his work with Team Australia, so still looking to get him going.
They missed the entirety of their first round against Geelong as Matt O'Neill chops this one foul. And again, that's really the first couple rounds. That's how they go. You're just kind of working guys back into the lineup. But the thing is, guys like Jared Dale and Matt O'Neill who play minor league baseball in the U.S., they have a lot less time to really get locked in a 40-game season as compared to a 120-gamer.
Yeah, it's a lot different. And for those who don't understand the way a minor league season works, it's a lot different from even the major league schedule. In the minors, nowadays, you play Tuesday through Sunday, 6 straight days, and then every Monday is an off day. So now, obviously, 6 days, not a huge difference from 4 days in a row like here in the ABL. But again, 40-game season here in the ABL, 140-ish, depends on whether it's independent ball, affiliated minor league ball. It's a big difference, 5.5 straight months of playing 6 days a week.
2-1 settles in there for a called strike 2, and for guys like Dale and Matt O'Neill, guys who are going to be playing with major league affiliated teams, Dale with the Padres, O'Neill with the Mets, it's just kind of extra reps, just ways to get more locked in so their big league clubs can see what they have in the upcoming season.
Yeah, and I asked Matt the other day when I did a quick interview with him, I asked him how he ended up out here in Australia, and he originally said, I don't really know. I mean, it wasn't like he reached out to his agent or anything and said, hey, I want to play in Australia.
Payoff pitch. Hit on the ground to second. Charge for Cosma. Quick throw to first. And there's 2 outs.
Now, he said the Mets asked him if he'd be interested. And I'm sure they do that. Most organizations do that with some guys like, hey, would you be interested in going X place and playing winter ball there? And so that's how he got out here. But, yeah, a chance to get some more at-bats, some more reps. And for guys who are trying to grind their way to the top and get to the big leagues, I mean, this is a great way to do it. Go to another country, experience life in a new country, but also, get some swings in or a pitcher, get some innings in.
And over one player per year that Melbourne has been in existence have gone to the big leagues, and it's not like they're guys who are not there for that long. You talk about guys like Adam Engel, Ronald Acuna Jr., guys who are mainstays with their big league clubs. They got some extra reps in winter ball right here in Melbourne. 1-0 pitch to Ryan Dale, catches the outside corner, evens the count at 1-1.
Another example of the talent that the Aces are able to bring out here, and yeah, like you said, developing them. It's not like they come here and they're already big leaguers.
1-1 pitch, cut on and missed, and we're a strike away from ending the second.
That had to be the coolest thing when Ronald Acuna was out here. I mean, a guy who a lot of people think is going to win an MVP or more someday at the big league level. He's that good.
Already has a World Series wing, even though injuries kind of stopped him from playing on that team. But, yeah, I mean, a guy who's already had great success in the big league, multi-time All-Star, and widely regarded as one of the best players in baseball.
Yeah. Yeah, just talking to people affiliated with the Aces, staff members, coaches, about Acuna's time here, and yeah, I mean, I think everybody was just blown away at the level of talent they saw. And it's like, he came here as a kid. We're trying to get to the big leagues, and everybody knew that kid was going to be special.
I feel like there's always guys in minor league ball, winter ball, that you just see that they're a cut above everyone else, and that was the case for Ronald Acuna for sure. So Ian Gavin had a little chat with Brock Gilliam. We'll take a look at the umpires. Gavin at behind home plate, Neil Medlin at first, Stuart Howe at third. 1-2, just misses low and away. Count evens at 2 to Ryan Dale. Ryan, the middle child of 3 Dale brothers, all of whom grew up playing baseball. Some wiffle ball games in the backyard at the Dale household. 2-2. Chopped foul. Dale still running towards first, but they'll blow it dead. Their eldest brother was a pitcher, and I think that's part of the reason that Ryan and Jared have become such accomplished hitters in the ABL.
Yeah, it helps when you don't have to leave your backyard to get some swings off somebody.
Yeah, it's got to be fun having games that competitive. Like, I played wiffle ball with my dad in the backyard, but, you know, he'd lob me balls so I could hit them. That's why I'm in the mic and not on the mic and not on the field. 2-2 to Dale. Inside, and Ryan Dale working his way back to a full count.
I think it's just so cool, the family connection that the Dales have. And, you know, getting to play for your dad, getting to play with your brother, you know, all on the same team. It's got Ripken family vibes.
Ripkins, Boones, a lot of big names as Dale scoots that one foul down the third base line.
Yeah, I mean, with the Ripkins in the big leagues, Cal Sr. managed both Cal Ripken Jr. and Billy Ripken, and to be able to say that you played for your dad and played with your brother at the big league level is pretty cool. But doing it for these guys in the Melbourne area, doing it where they all grew up and where they learned the game, that's got to be special as well.
I mean, I really can't imagine that there's anything better than that. Payoff pitch again. Weekly hit to second. Cosma's there, and that will end the inning. Aces go down in order in the second inning. We're still scoreless through 2 here at Melbourne Ballpark, and Aussie Mike will get on the mic for play-by-play when we come back.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
Mic check up here in the booth. Aussie Mike is here, ready to roll. Josh Sperber alongside me. No score, top of the third inning from Melbourne Ballpark. Another nice night for a ball game. Really beautiful baseball sky last night at the ballpark. It was a little too cold for my liking, though. We were layered up in the booth. I had my beanie on most of the game. But tonight, short sleeves weather, shorts weather, and it is nice to have a sunny day in the 70s, and that's what we've had all day here in the Melbourne area. Dan McGrath back to work. He gets 8, 9, and 1 in the Heat order. Jake Bowie, Liam Collins, then back to the top for Tim Kennelly. Bowie back at first base tonight. He started there last night, went 1 for 3, singled and walked in his last 2 plate appearances, respectively. And he's called out on a pitch on the outer half. A called strike 3 starts the top of the third. 2 punch-outs in the game for Dan McGrath. As he continues to work through this Perth order, that brings up the 9-hole hitter Liam Collins. Taking a look at the All-Star Access higher replay right on the outside corner. Good hold by Matt O'Neill. 1 quick out for Dan McGrath. McGrath in his 8th season with the Aces, a Melbourne native. Plenty of affiliated baseball experience in the United States with the Red Sox organization. He's back in Melbourne for another go-around. Gets a change-up past Collins there, swung way ahead of it. Collins did not play in last night's ball game. 2 games so far this season for Liam. 1 hit and 7 ABs. Fastball up top, a little bit high, 1-1. 2-1. Well, the Heat led 2-0 last night after the top of the 7th, but the Aces came right back with 3 of their own. Another called strike over the heart of the plate. It's 2-2. Aces tacked on 2 more in the bottom of the 8th. It was the J.D. Osborne game. Drove in 4, scored 1. 2-strike pitch misses out from McGrath. And the Aces took home a 5-2 win. Stole that one late from the Heat. McGrath looking to pitch the Aces to their 4th straight victory. 2-strike pitch. Fastball misses in, and it's ball 4. Second walk of the game for Dan McGrath. Back to the top of the order for Kennelly. Well, one time through the order for McGrath, he's allowed 4 base runners, 2 walks, a single, and a double. His defense has helped him out. Poor base running's helped him out, and McGrath himself has helped himself out with a pickoff. Picked off a runner in the first. Kennelly got doubled up on a bad base running play in the first, and then that web gem in center from Aaron Whitefield in the second. Here is Kennelly, who doubled down the left field line his first time, and McGrath has another man picked off. Really deceptive move from the southpaw as the second baseman Cruz tags out Collins. That is a 1-3-4 pickoff. So 2 in the game for McGrath. And we're not even through 3 innings.
Yeah, talk about helping yourself out. McGrath has really just been staring at first base because he knows he's going to be able to pick the guy off, it seems. Textbook work from the left-hander.
Well, that pickoff move is nasty. With one as lethal as that, Josh, you figure he could just intentionally walk every batter and then just pick them all off. He could get through a game without throwing a pitch.
His next complete game, if it's a deeper score line, he might as well just do that just for kicks.
2 outs and no one on. Here's the 2-hole hitter, Willie Vasquez. He hit that ball to the left center field gap in the first. Chris Burke made the grab and then threw back to second. Oh, Kennelly's still up. I thought it was Vasquez. So I see 2 outs on the board. I'm thinking, all right, two batters have come up. But this is still Kennelly here. So McGrath's got me all messed up here.
I mean, he's pitched just as much to first base as he had towards home plate, and he's getting the same amount of outs either way.
Playing a little catch with J.D. Osborne over there.
Why not? You win 3 straight, you want to play some catch during a game.
Last time out for McGrath. Complete game. We've talked about it a few different times on the broadcast. Dan became the 5th different pitcher in Aces history to throw a complete game when he did it in his first start of the ABL season. 3-1. That missed outside ball 4, but if the trend continues, that shouldn't be much of a problem with a runner on first base.
Yeah, this is now the 3rd walk McGrath has issued, but the previous 2, he picked the guy off at first anyway.
Yeah, not nearly as sharp tonight as he was his last time out, but finding ways to work around that.
I mean, you can't go 9 innings with 7 Ks and really just make one mistake pitch the entire game. You can't do that every outing.
Starts Willie Vasquez off with a strike, so now Vasquez is up. Now I'm all caught up. We're good. We are good.
Hasn't tried to pick off Kennelly just yet. Give him time.
Next pitch, breaking ball that misses way inside. Count goes to 1-1.
Certainly looks like here McGrath is focused on getting Vasquez out.
McGrath stayed down in the zone in his last start. It led to a few ground ball outs. The ground ball would be great here, turn a double play and get him out of the inning. So 2 gone in the inning. Next pitch to Vasquez, swing and a miss, change up down and away. Another punch out for Dan McGrath, give him 3 in the game, and he is through 3 scoreless. To the bottom of the 3rd we go. No score in Melbourne. Keep it locked on Aces TV.
the kick the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a three, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Bottom of the third inning from Melbourne Ballpark. It's the Melbourne Aces hosting the Perth Heat in Game 2 of a 4-game set. Round 2 of the 2022-2023 ABL season. I want to give a shout-out to the new beer sponsor of the Melbourne Aces, Brick Lane Brewing Company. Sales were brisk last weekend. Looking to make that the same thing here this weekend. Grab a Brick Lane drink if you're at the ballpark. Plenty of options. You know, if you watched our Brick Lane pregame show earlier today, you saw we had the Brick Lane Sidewinder non-alcoholic beverage option. So suitable for every drinking need. Brick Lane's got it all. So they're the new official beer partner of the Melbourne Aces this year. Brock Gilliam back to work, bottom of the third inning. Jared Cruz, the 9-hole hitter, starts things off. Cruz then back to the top for Whitefield and Burke. Each team with 2 hits apiece. Dan McGrath has walked 3 batters, but he's worked around those guys on base. A couple pickoffs in the game and some nice defense behind him. 3 shutout frames for McGrath as Cruz takes down and away, 1-1. Brock Gilliam, 6'1" tall, 24-year-old. This is his first season in the ABL. Spent 5 years at Washburn University in Kansas as a collegiate athlete. Humpback liner to second, handled by Cosma. And Cruz is retired for out number 1.
Cosma's been pretty busy. 3 straight grounders to second for him to get the last 3 outs for the Heat. And now Whitefield's got to get something started.
Yeah, not a lot of hard contact so far against Gilliam. The 2 singles in the first were pretty hard hit, but not much since. So here's Whitefield, who comes to bat for the second time in this one. Bounced to third his first time up, swings at the first pitch and ropes one foul down the third base line. It's 0-1. Well, Gilliam pitched in the MLB Draft League in 2021, which is a collegiate league, college summer league, where collegiate players are looking to get some extra exposure in front of scouts and hopefully get drafted or signed by a professional team. Line drive out to second. Cosma dives, but he can't come up with it. And Aaron Whitefield has his first base hit as a member of the Melbourne Aces.
And we did think it would go for extra bases, but making a former Major League second baseman lay all the way out for a nice, well-hit, sinking liner. I think that's a good way to start it for the former MVP.
All-Star Access replay shows that Cosma was pretty close to that. Made a good effort, and you know, it clearly shows I know nothing. I said that Whitefield's first hit with the Aces was going to be a big knock for extra bases, scalded off the bat. I said it wasn't going to be a bloop dumped into the outfield, and what do you know? It was a bloop dumped into the outfield. See if he takes second. Big lead for him. Check swing from Burke. He wanted to hold up there but could not. Whitefield swiped 3 bags so far this season. He swiped 2 in the extra inning win over Geelong and had 1 last night.
Yeah, we've talked about Dan McGrath being wary of the runners on first base. If I'm Brock Gilliam, I pitch one towards home plate, I throw the next one towards first. Whitefield is a guy you have to be very aware of on the base paths.
Whitefield stole a bag last night. The man at the plate, Chris Burke, stole 2. Whitefield inching closer to second. They caught him leaning. Throw to first, got him. So Gilliam picks off Whitefield, who, like I said, was leaning a little bit. Josh, you could see there he was inching towards second a little bit more with each step, and just got too far off the bag.
And you'll see in the All-Star Access replay, that's just good awareness. Gilliam sees out of the corner of his eye. Whitefield looked like he was ready to go, but Gilliam, instead of going home, he goes towards first base. Really smart move by the Heat right-hander.
2 outs and no one on. Burke fouls one back. He's got 2 strikes on him. Gilliam, a couple seasons with the Kansas City Monarchs in the American Association, an independent professional league in the United States. 4.23 ERA in those 2 seasons. 2-strike pitch to Burke. Off the end of the bat into shallow left field. Collins is there, a couple steps to his left. That ends the inning. So not a 1-2-3 inning, but Gilliam faces the minimum. We are through 3 full in Melbourne. No score, top of the 4th after this on the Aces TV network.
Business Network International is flourishing across Melbourne.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Scoreless in the top of the 4th inning from Melbourne Ballpark in beautiful Victoria. Michael Marcantonini and Josh Sperber with you on the call tonight. Josh, somebody should let these teams that come through Melbourne Ballpark know that it is okay to score in the first few innings of a game.
Yeah, tonight I think it's just too many pickoffs.
First pitch of the inning to the 13-year big league vet Josh Reddick is over for a strike from Dan McGrath. Just not a lot of offense early on, and that's credit to the pitching and the defense that we've seen. A 1 to Josh, fouled back. It's 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen just fantastic starts from everyone, particularly McGrath with that complete game. But everyone the Aces have thrown has had incredible starts, and I remember seeing an article on the ABL website after Jung Jae Young threw a nice 5 innings in that extra inning game that he was on the Pitcher of the Year watch for the ABL just after the 1 start, and he might not have even had the best start from Geelong in that series.
Yeah, we were spoiled with a lot of good pitching performances in that first round, and same thing here at the start of the second. Reddick fouls one back, just got a piece.
And especially true in this contest as you take a look at Reddick just getting underneath that fastball from McGrath. You'd think with these 2 games, the Heat came into this series with an on-base percentage over 400, I should say. We expected this series to be a lot more shootout. Look a lot more like a shootout rather than pitcher's duel after pitcher's duel, and this game is shaping up to be a pitcher's duel after last night was a pretty epic one.
Yeah, we were thinking like 10-8, 9-6.
Yeah.
Not 5-2 with all the runs coming after the 7th. Sweeping curve there from McGrath, misses outside. To put it in college football terms, we were looking for Big 12 football, not Big 10 football.
It's a pretty darn good analogy.
Reddick lays off, and he runs the count full. Now, to our Aussie listeners who don't necessarily follow college football back in the United States, there's a lot of offense in Big 12 football.
Yeah, they don't play defense over there.
Yeah. Defense is big, though, in the Big 10. 3-2 pitch. Reddick shoots one to the left side. Dale knocks it down. Is he going to get him? Nope. Can't get him. So Reddick beats it out. That's the third baseman Dale playing over in the shortstop position, taking a look at the All-Star Access Higher replay. They'll go E5 on that one.
Yeah, and that's a tough call. I mean, Dale still almost got him, but that hit the palm of his glove. That's a play that you expect Ryan Dale to make at third.
So on this side of the scorecard, Josh, we've seen a 7-4 double play. We've seen 2 pickoffs. We've seen a web gem in center, and now an E5. A lot going on. So yet another base runner for the Perth Heat. Third time in 4 innings the leadoff man has reached. McGrath needed 38 pitches to get through 3, 24 of them strikes. Reddick a short lead at first. Pitch to Junior Caminero. Big swing and a miss there. McGrath got him to chase out of the zone. And that's something that Flynn was able to get consistently last night. Chases out of the zone for no contact.
Yeah, and McGrath in the same way his perfect game. I mean, just again, we keep harping on how good the starting pitching has been. And another one, the bottom just dropping out on that changeup. And on McGrath's pitches tonight, they're coming into the strike zone looking like they're strikes. And then at the last second, they'll just whip out of the zone, out of the batter's box, or drop off the planet.
Really hard to hit a baseball at the professional level. And we are seeing dominant pitching performances on both sides. McGrath, a quick look over at first. High leg kick, 2-strike pitch sent down the left field line out of play over towards that Cyclone tool shed. We had some fun filming our pregame show, the Brick Lane pregame show from down there earlier today. Got a couple beanbag chairs set up. Sun was shining.
Yeah. I'd like to do a broadcast from there.
I'm all in.
I might get too comfortable.
Another 2-2. Good job by O'Neill to keep that one in front. Another full count as McGrath looks for the first out of the 4th. Brock Gilliam on the other side of things has tossed 3 shutout innings for the Heat. 3 singles for the Aces. That's it. Pitch misses inside. That's ball 4. So the first 2 have reached to start the 4th. Runners at first and second with no outs. And that brings up last night's offensive standout for the Heat, Boyarsky.
And it's the first time that Perth has had more than one base runner on at one time. And we've seen McGrath, I wouldn't want to say wild, but just he's not getting the swings that he was getting against Geelong. He's seeing a much more patient Perth team because he likes to go for those swinging strikeouts. And sometimes when the hitters aren't biting, you get a couple of walks on there. That's number 4.
Big cut from Boyarsky to start the AB. Fastball up top. McGrath went up the ladder, and the velo increased as well there. Next pitch from Dan. Not sure where that one missed.
Yeah, it's a pretty common theme in these first 2 rounds have been those borderline pitches, those pitches where you try to get that really close just on the tip of the strike zone. They just have not been going the pitcher's way.
Well, McGrath has 2 strikes on Boyarsky as he fouls one back. During the 2020-2021 championship season for the Aces, McGrath pitched in 6 games, started 4 of them in the regular season. Just 14 innings of work, struck out 13, walked 7. After a look at second, he goes with a changeup low and away, but that misses. Dan's had success with the changeup tonight, especially low and away to righties.
Yeah, we saw a lot more of that curve and fastball combo, but he's really bringing in the changeup a lot. For the most part, I think he's getting the results he wants.
2-2 sent in the air, high and deep, right center field. As the center fielder Whitefield and the right fielder Osborne look up. That one sails over the wall. A 3-run home run for Ulrich Boyarsky. second homer in as many nights. He's got 5 RBIs in this series now, and he's done it on 2 swings.
Yeah, every run for Perth in Melbourne Ballpark this year has come via an Ulrich Bojarski home run, and both of them looked pretty similar. Going to that opposite field, going to right center, and not looking like no doubters off the bat, but they just kept on carrying and carrying. And you see in that replay, it looked like he got a little bit underneath that baseball, but it just kept on going.
Felt like it was going to get out off the bat, just the sound it made at contact. Well, this Perth lineup has had some success against Dan McGrath tonight. That is the second extra base hit, the 3rd hit overall. He's also walked 3. He's walked 4, and that error comes back to hurt the Aces there, as could be a 2-0 game. Instead, it's 3. And the whole inning changes with that, the leadoff base runner reaching on the error. Still looking for out number 1 in the 4th. Here's Pete Cosma, the second baseman. Cosma takes inside, and McGrath asking the home plate umpire, Ian Gavin, where that one was. And I think he's got a legitimate beef there.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it. There's been a lot of close misses at home plate, and McGrath showing a little bit of frustration with the home plate umpire. Because really, those borderline pitches are not going his way.
He's run a couple deep counts here in the inning. And with all the base runners over the first 3 innings, not surprising to see this 3-run outburst for the Heat here in the 4th. Although you don't want to say it was trending that way, because McGrath has shown that what happens in the previous innings doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen in the inning after. But they've gotten some good swings off Dan tonight. This one looks like it'll stay in play. It does for J.D. Osborne. And that's out number 1 of the 4th. Cosma pops out. Here's Alex Hall, the catcher.
And you always want to follow up a big play, particularly a run-scoring play with an out right there. Well, here's another replay of the home run. And you follow up that blast from Bojarski with a weakly hit foul ball and an easy play for J.D. Osborne. So now things seem to be going back in the right direction for McGrath.
1 out, no one on. Here's Hall, who had a really tough night last night, both at the plate and defensively. Couple passed balls, throwing error. Had that unfortunate missed tag play on Jacob Robson that led to the Aces scoring the tying run in the 7th last night.
I mean, I feel like careless is the better word for that. If you tag a player but don't realize the ball's in your hand rather than your glove, that's on you. That is a mistake that, frankly, I didn't notice until we saw the replay, if I'm being completely honest. But that's a careless play by Alex Hall, and it costs the Heat dearly.
Shout out to our production crew here at Melbourne Ballpark for giving us that awesome replay angle last night. And from there, and there was no argument from the dugout at the time, so I think everybody in the Perth dugout saw that he missed the tag.
Yeah.
But we didn't in the booth because of the vantage point we have until we saw that second replay. And then from there, it was all Aces. Line drive over the head of Dale into left field. 4th base runner of the inning for the Heat. And the 4th hit that Dan McGrath has allowed.
And once again, Matt O'Neill now coming out, as there seems to be some pitchers taking off their warm-up gear in the Aces bullpen. But Matt O'Neill, we've talked about how well he relates to these pitchers, and it seems like every time he goes to visit the mound, the things seem to turn around for the Aces staff.
Yeah, just a feel for when to go out and talk to these guys. Aces would love a double play ball right here to get out of the inning. They'll shift for the left-handed hitting Bowie. The 3rd baseman, Ryan Dale, is shaded towards short. Jared Dale, the shortstop, is about a step towards that from that second base bag, and then deep depth-wise. Just see on the bottom of your screen, that's the shortstop, Dale, playing behind second. Expecting Bowie to pull. Outfielder's pretty much straight away. Bowie does pull it, and it's off of Jared Cruz's glove into right center. First to third goes Hall. Stopping at first, that's Bowie. Runners at the corners for the Heat. And the line keeps moving. Here's the 9-hole hitter, Collins.
And that was really close to being a spectacular play. We're going to get the All-Star Access Higher replay right here. You see a good piece of hitting from Jake Bowie, but that ball right there, you see it hit off the tip of the outside of Jared Cruz's glove. He was not too far off from a highlight reel play.
Nice effort by Cruz, who was shaded a little bit over towards the first base side because of the shift. And now with runners at first and third and 2 down, McGrath will look for the inning ender. 3 runs for the Heat, all in this inning. And all 3 came on the home run off the bat of Ulrich Bojarski. Bojarski, a 2-run shot to open the scoring last night. Opens the scoring with a 3-run shot tonight. And there's another base hit in the left field past the diving Dale. An RBI single for Liam Collins, the 3rd straight hit and the 4th hit of the inning.
And another one that was pretty close. Dale made a nice effort to dive for it. His glove ended up parallel to the baseball, just right over the top of it, and we'll see it again on the All-Star Access Higher replay. Hot shot and just slipped right under the glove of Dale. And now Tim Ballard's going to come out and have a chat with his pitcher.
A visit from the Aces pitching coach. McGrath's line score has gone downhill. 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He's walked 4. And he's given up a home run in just 3 1/3 innings of work. Less than 40 pitches to get through 3 innings, but he is at 72 pitches now through 3 2/3.
And he had just 20 more than that in his complete game against Geelong. And, you know, obviously that's not a level of play that can be replicated every single night by even the best of them. But just a frustrating outing, a couple of really close misses, and just that one big home run.
So he starts Kennelly off with a strike. 3rd time up for Kennelly. Double and a walk tonight in that order. Look over at the runner at first. This one popped in the air, shallow left. Jared Dale making the call for it, makes the grab, and that ends. That is just the 2nd out of the inning. So we see all the time players on the field lose track of how many outs there are. I lost track there. I thought there were, I swore there were 2 outs.
I'll hold up the sign for you.
I need it. So here's Willie Vasquez, the 9th man to hit in the inning. 4 runs on 6 hits for Perth. No runs on just 3 hits and an error for the Aces. Good changeup there, down and in, down and away. Vasquez struck out swinging his last time up. And he chased a similar pitch, a changeup down and away, that McGrath got the strikeout on. That one looked good, but no call.
And looking at the Aces bullpen, they got Darcy Longstaff warming up, getting loose. We'll see if and when he comes in to replace McGrath.
Longstaff has pitched in 1 game so far this season. 1/3 of an inning, needed just 8 pitches to get that out. That was in the season opener. Curveball in the dirt, smothered by O'Neill.
And he looks like such a strong defensive catcher. I mean, we can talk all day about the walk-off grand slam, but it's the little plays like that, the smothering balls in the dirt that prevents these runners from advancing. Those little plays can make a massive difference in a game.
2-2, changeup misses low, and another full count for a Heat batter. Well, O'Neill does a ton to get his body right and stay ready to go behind the plate each night. Does a ton of stretching. You see him just making sure he's loose during BP. Runners go, 3-2, 2 outs. Popped up, middle of the diamond. We'll see who wants it. Looks like Aaron Whitefield's camped under it, and that is who makes the grab to finally retire the side. The Heat score 4 times. They do it on 4 hits, 3 singles and a home run, a 3-run shot from Ulrich Bojarski, the big blow in the inning. Through 3.5, it's the Heat 4, the Aces nothing. Keep it locked on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Tough 4th inning for Dan McGrath, whose night is probably over after 4 innings of work. Gave up 4 runs on 4 hits. There was an error in the top of the 4th inning, but a tough frame for the Aces left-hander. Ulrich Bojarski for the 2nd straight night gets Perth on the board first. Last night it was a 2-run shot in the 7th. Tonight a 3-run shot to essentially the same spot over the right center field wall. That 3-run shot in the top of the 4th tonight. The Aces playing from behind once again, and they send 3-4-5 up against righty Brock Gilliam. Glendinning, Robson, and Osborne, the 3 due up against the 24-year-old right-hander from Kansas. First pitch of Gilliam's inning misses. First go-around in the ABL for Gilliam. 87 1/3 innings of work in pro ball, 2 years with the Monarchs in the American Association. Striking out 9 batters per 9 innings in his work in the American Association. And Gilliam has quite a few connections in this ball game. A handful of his teammates on the Heat are his teammates with the Monarchs. Pitch to Glendinning, fouled back. So Gilliam, his Perth Heat teammates Pete Cosma and Jordan Martinson both play on the Monarchs in the American Association. And Aces outfielder Jacob Robson's on that club as well. 2-1 to Glendinning, takes a fastball in the outer half. It's 2-2. And that's a KC Monarchs team that's got a lot of who's who of former big leaguers. Malik Smith, Lewis Thorpe, Gabby Guerrero, Darnell Sweeney, and Matt Hall. 5 other former major leaguers on that team, along with Robson and Cosma. Deep drive to center, and that one's gone. Off the top of the wall, Glendinning pulls into second with a leadoff double. That one hit just under that yellow line in center. Looked like it was going to get out, but Robbie Glendinning starts things up in the bottom of the 4th with a double off the center field wall.
Yeah, I thought that was out. That looked to me like it hit at least the yellow tape and bounced out. But we'll see on the replay here. Yeah, it just hit. I'm not even sure that hit the wall. That might have hit just the edge of the warning track. But either way, really deep in his center field. Glendinning almost hits a bomb to dead center.
Yeah, I thought that ball hit the bottom of the batter's eye and then bounced back. So time is called as one of the Heat outfielders just ran into the dugout. I don't know if it was a cleat or something that he's got to exchange for a new one. But quick delay in the game. So Robbie Glendinning talking with some of his former teammates out there from the Perth Heat. Glendinning 5 seasons with the Heat to start his ABL tenure. He's a Perth native and came over to Melbourne this season to play for the Aces. So it's Josh Reddick who needed to head back to the dugout for something. I don't know, Josh, what exactly happened there. Did he need to change cleats? I saw him throw something into the dugout when he came in.
Yeah, I don't know if it was his glove or his cleats. It might be his glove because he's holding in his hand as he's trotting out there, but definitely need to make an exchange. He might have landed on something funny when he was running into the wall for that Robbie Glendinning homer. Or double, I should say. Almost homer.
Well, he's all good now. Glendinning out at second with Robson at the plate. First extra base hit that Gilliam's allowed tonight. 4th hit for the Aces. Swing and a miss and a changeup down and in as Robson faces his former teammate for the second time. Singled off him last time.
Yeah, you got to like these kind of rarer instances of guys who played together in, one of the many leagues across the world, and it's got to feel a nice little chip on Robson's shoulder getting the better of his teammate in their first battle.
Well, we know when Jacob Robson comes up to the plate, he's going to be swinging early and often. 2 big cuts at the first 2 pitches he's seen.
Yeah, he loves to swing the bat, plain and simple.
Aces looking to put a rally together. Glendinning got it started. See if Robson can extend it. Gilliam out of the stretch. Ground ball through the hole into left field, a base hit. Here comes Glendinning. Robson heading for second. Throws cut off, and Robson is tagged out. Oh, he's safe at second. Ball was dropped. But it's an RBI single for Jacob Robson. He's 2 for 2. RBI double. So back-to-back doubles for the Aces.
And Jacob Robson just shows how good of a base runner that he is. You saw that run just in a very odd way, scored the tying run last night. Here, another good piece of hitting, as we'll see on the All-Star Access Higher Instant Replay. Just a hot bouncer right beating the shift in between third and short. No chance at Glendinning at second, so a heads-up play by Vasquez to throw it, or actually that was Caminero who threw it to second, and Robson had the speed close enough to beating it out, just kicked the ball out of the glove of Pete Cosmo.
Yeah, throw beat him to the bag there. And then once the first base umpire Neil Medlin saw that the ball was out of the glove, made the safe call. So a double for Robson and another RBI for the Aces right fielder. Here's J.D. Osborne, see if he can capitalize off last night's hot night and keep it going. First pitch to J.D. misses outside. It's 1-0. 4-1 our score now. 11 hits combined, and we're not even through the 4th. Big difference from last night when we saw 8 combined hits in all 9 innings. Dan McGrath, Aces starter, watching from a seat in the Aces dugout to see if his guys can get him some runs. Chopper to third. That will not move Robson over. And Osborne is out number 1 in the 4th.
Good play by Caminero. Got to that well, really nice quick reaction. And he took a long, hard look at Jacob Robson to make sure he was staying put on second base, because we've talked about Robson's aggression at the plate. He's quite aggressive on the base pass as well. Good fielding play by Caminero.
Here's Jared Dale, struck out swinging. A couple nasty sliders diving away from him his first time up. Gilliam looking to navigate through the 4th with just the 1 run in. Really solid outing for Gilliam, his first time out against Adelaide. In his first career ABL outing, he got the start, went 6 shutout innings, gave up just 3 hits, struck out 6, and did not walk a batter. Got the win in that game, one of the 3 wins that Perth had over Adelaide. Hard hit ground ball down the third base line, a fair ball. Into the left field corner, Robson around third, he's headed home. Jared Dale pulls into second, It's an RBI two-bagger with swagger for Jared Dale, and it's a 4-2 ball game.
And that's the way to get Dale going. You put guys in the sixth spot in the lineup because you want to see some good pitches. Guys that you want to see get some more power from on better pitches from the guy on the mound. And Dale bounced that one down the third base line. That's exactly the way you get a guy going. A hot shot, a chopper into the outfield as the umpires make sure that that was going to be a fair ball. And it looks like, I think that's Andrew Kyle who's getting up in the face of the home plate umpire and Ian Gavin.
So he's really livid with that call there. He thinks it's a foul ball. Throws the hat not once but twice, and the second one will get him run from the game. Well, he's going to make sure he tells this umpiring crew what's on his mind before he heads to the showers. That ball just stayed fair inside the third base bag. Caminero, the third baseman, made an excellent effort to try to make the play. But it's the third double of the inning for the Aces. And Andrew Kyle has officially been ejected from the game.
And let's take a look at the replay here because I really am not sure what he's arguing about. That looked clean to me. We see the bounce. That's pretty clearly inside the tape. Once it gets to the umpire, that's when it goes foul. But if it gets past the first base, it gets past the baseline, and it bounces in fair territory, that's a fair ball.
Yeah, and we got a pretty good look at it on the replay right there. It's also a situation where the third base umpire, Stuart Howe, made the call right away. So it wasn't like we had to wait for a call or he, was about to change his mind or something like that. I mean, it was a pretty clear call, and it was made quickly. So the Aces have cut the deficit in half. It's a 4-2 Perth lead, and there have been 6 runs scored in this fourth inning. So with one down and Dale at second, here's Matt O'Neill, who bounced to second his first time up. Each team with 6 hits, 3 doubles and 3 singles for the Aces. O'Neill takes on the outer half. It's a ball, 1-0. Well, Josh, we talked about it last night. The Aces continue to play from behind early on this ABL season, but it hasn't fazed them.
And that's the mark of a championship team. I mean, it's a different team from the last ABL season, just 2 years ago. But, there is still a championship DNA in the Aces coaching staff that is well translated to their players. And coming from behind, not letting one bad inning or just a run of tough runs or something like that get them down. And this Aces team is very resilient and already having the deficit that they got themselves into in the top half of the fourth.
2 come-from-behind wins so far for the Aces. 2 of their 3 wins after trailing early.
Yeah, only one game where they led the whole way, and that was that 3-homer effort against Geelong in Dan McGrath's last outing.
Patient approach from Matt O'Neill, who's watched the first 4 in the AB go by, and the count is in his favor, 3-1. O'Neill represents the tying run at the plate. Last night, when Boyarsky hit the 2-run homer in the top of the 7th, the Aces came right back with 3 of their own in the bottom half. Tonight, 4 in the top of the 4th. The Aces with 2 and counting in the bottom half of the inning. Gilliam out of the stretch. O'Neill sends one back to Gilliam on the mound, who has Dale caught in a rundown. O'Neill gets to first, Dale caught in the pickle. O'Neill gets to second on it, and they tag out Dale in between short and third. So not too much harm done there, as the Aces still have a man at second with 2 outs. Would have been the same situation if Gilliam had gone to first with that baseball.
And that's just good base running all around. Matt O'Neill knows that in a pickle like that, it's going to take some really creative Javi Baez style just wizardry to get out of a pickle like that. O'Neill turns on the jet, sprints to second base. By the time he's there, that is when Jared Dale finally says, you know what, I'm going to take the tag and go back to the dugout. good base running from the Aces.
And when you get caught in a rundown and all else is lost, the goal is just to stay in the rundown long enough to allow the next guy, whether it's the base runner behind you or the batter, to get to the next base. And like you broke that down, that's exactly what O'Neill did. 2 down and a man in scoring position for Ryan Dale. See if he can bring O'Neill home. Swing and a miss and a slider diving down and away. Ryan drove in the go-ahead run and eventual winning run in the bottom of the 7th last night with a sac fly to center. Tried 2 times unsuccessfully to bring home that go-ahead run with a push bunt towards the right side on a safety squeeze. Both bunt attempts went foul, but Dale got the job done with a different kind of sacrifice. A 1 from Gilliam. Popped up right side, but Cosma's there on the run, and that ends the inning. The Aces get 2. They do it on 3 doubles. An RBI double from Jacob Robson, followed by an RBI double off the bat of Jared Dale. 4-2 after 4 full. We head to the top of the 5th after this. Keep it locked right here on Aces TV. For over 45 years, Hobson's Bay Dental has delivered the best results through continually updating their skills and technology. Dr. Andrews and his team also take great pride in treating patients like family. Melbourne Aces players trust their teeth to Hobson's Bay Dental, and you should too. Business Network International is flourishing across Melbourne's West and Geelong. Local businesses, including the Aces, join B&I for professional development, networking opportunities, and to increase business prospects. Find your local B&I chapter to tap to a wealth of resources and join a winning team. There are a lot of interesting spots to take in a game here at Melbourne Ballpark, and recently our own Ed Wyatt did a bit of exploring. Take a look at his visit to the Cyclone Tool Shed down the third base line.
Here we are down the first base line at Melbourne Ballpark. You can see lots of people around having a good time. There's all kinds of options. Look at this, people enjoying pizza, looking pretty good. Good pizza, look at that. She doesn't want to be in the shot, that's okay. She's having a great time with her pizza.
You can always watch the game from the All-Star Bar, which is down the first base line. Get a drink, get some food.
So there you go, the All-Star Bar, just one of many places you can watch a game here at Melbourne Ballpark.
A packed house in Melbourne Ballpark. The fans have to be pleased with 2 runs on 3 hits in the bottom of the 4th for the Aces, but still a 4-2 lead for the visiting Perth Heat. As we are going to get our first pitching change of the day as we get one more look at Jared Dale's RBI double. And that got Andrew Kyle ejected, the Heat's manager. 2 hat throws like he's graduating. But he's getting out of this game for sure. A manager ejection and 2 runs for Melbourne. And now the first pitching change of the ball game as Darcy Longstaff will come in relief of Dan McGrath. First time McGrath has been taken out of the game in his second start. 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and 4 total. 4 walks, 3 strikeouts for McGrath. And now Longstaff will make his second appearance. A guy just signed by the Cincinnati earlier last month. So Darcy Longstaff was going to be heading to spring training with the number 4 ranked farm system in the major leagues, according to MLB Pipeline. And he gets his second game beginning with a tough stretch of the Heat order. Josh Reddick leads things off. Junior Caminero and Ulrich Bojarski are going to begin the game at the dish, or begin the inning for Perth here in the top of the 5th. Reddick flies this one deep into left center field. It's all Whitefield who makes the run and the one-handed grab for out number 1.
Really easy run for Whitefield going to that left center field gap. He covers a lot of ground and he does it quickly. Well, Josh, that was a really productive bottom of the 4th for the Aces to cut the deficit in half, especially after the Heat exploded for 4 runs and sent 9 men to the plate in the previous inning. Just to be able to get Gilliam out of the flow that he was in. Three extra base hits, I should say, in that inning. That was really huge. Like this talk from Matt O'Neill going out there talking to the young arm in Longstaff. Just a guy, a veteran who's played a couple seasons of pro ball, going out to talk to a teenager. Just settle him down a little bit.
And just get some strategy, because aside from Boyarsky's strikeout in the second, the next two batters have reached base every time. A single and a walk for Caminero, and of course the 3-run homer in Boyarsky's last at bat. He's now waiting in the on-deck circle, but one of the Rays' top prospects in Junior Caminero at the plate against Longstaff. First pitch, a breaking ball, low and in. Count 1-0. Caminero began the season in the low 20s of the Rays prospect system, but after a strong season in the FCL, runners-up in the championship there, and then in Charleston in low A with the River Dogs, getting himself a ring. He's up to number 17. 1-1. Fastball right down Main Street, and it's 1-2. And that's the big pitch for Darcy Longstaff. A four-seam fastball for the righty that's hit as high as 97 in his young major league career. Also has a slider, curve, and a splitter. That looked like the splitter dove right down into home plate, but it misses. Count 2-2. So two minor leaguers, guys who might face each other in the minor leagues next season, depending on what league they wind up in. As that one misses low and away. Count now full at 3-2. And that misses outside, so for the second time in a row, Junior Caminero will take a walk over to first base. Caminero has worked deep in counts with pretty much every pitcher he's faced here in Melbourne. 2 walks and 2 straight full counts for the Rays' number 17 prospect. And that'll bring up Ulrich Boyarsky. Home run in each of the first 2 games of this series, following in the footsteps of Song Chan-Oi. As that one misses low, count 1-0. Boyarsky, a former Tigers farmhand, signed as an international free agent back in 2018 by the Detroit Tigers. Not his first year in Perth, though. As off goes Caminero. Pitches in there for a strike. The throw on the money from Matt O'Neill, and it gets him. Caminero can't believe it, but that looked like an absolute bullet from Matt O'Neill. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, put it in the perfect spot right down in front of the base. Take a look at the All-Star Access Higher replay. Quick release from O'Neill. Perfect throw, got it right in position for Cruz to make the tag, and Cruz holding up his end of the deal, able to apply that tag.
Yeah, that looked pretty straightforward to me. Caminero won't get ejected like his skipper, but an angry walk into the dugout for him. Now it's a 1-2 count to Boyarsky, who fouls that back. And as you can see, right off the end of the bat. Saved by the netting from hitting our camera. A 1-2, Longstaff looking for a quick end to the inning. Just misses outside. A breaking ball. Trying to find it on the corner. Looked like a slider from Longstaff, and it's 2-2. 18-year-old Melbourne native. Deals. Sliced foul, we'll do it again. So Boyarsky in this series now has gone 3 for 4. Or 3 for 5. 2 home runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Did he go? He did not. Breaking ball, looked like a splitter from Longstaff. Just misses low, and it's a full count. And we'll take another look. That was a close call, but it looks like Boyarsky didn't break his wrists. 2 outs and a full count. Just missing inside. Second walk of the inning issued by Longstaff. As a pitching staff, the Aces have now walked 6. But you take a look at those walks. Reddick was the first one. He got picked off. Then Collins, the second walk. He got picked off. Kennelly and Caminero on the Boyarsky home run are the only 2 of the 6 walks that did not get picked off thus far. We'll see if Boyarsky gets picked to end the inning as a fastball misses outside. Count 1-0 to Cosma. Another former major leaguer on this Perth roster. You got to think that Pete Cosma and Josh Reddick were Perth replacements for Whitefield and Robbie Glendinning, who now on the other side of the diamond.
Yeah, they found ways to replenish that talent, if you will.
And that is line out into left field. Charging is Burt, but he'll let that bounce in front of him. A 2-out single for Cosma, his first hit against the Aces.
Swung the bat really well against Adelaide, and the Aces have kept him in check early. We've seen Cosma play a really solid second base, and now he has his first hit of the series, like you said. A little bit out in front of that pitch, but is able to dump it in front of Burke.
Yeah, hit the ball well, but, saw a pitch he liked, got a bit excited. And it's hard to time up a fastball that's coming at you between 94 and 97 miles an hour, the usual range for Darcy Longstaff. Now 2 on and 2 outs for the catcher, Alex Hall. The switch hitting backstop takes a look at a fastball inside, count 1-0. And Hall had a tough day in the field yesterday. We talked about him making kind of an errant tag, if you will, on Jacob Robson. Applied a tag with the ball in his throwing hand as the fastball misses outside. And Robson, once he realized that the ball was not in his glove when he got tagged out, he scampered home to tie the game up, and the rest is history. 5 unanswered runs for Melbourne to take the first game of this round. 2-0 pitch is hammered into right field, and a base hit for Alex Hall. Sprinting around second comes Boyarsky. The throw will go to third, not in time, as Pete Cosma just barely slides in ahead of the tag.
Well, Boyarsky again playing a big role in this inning. And Alex Hall
and we'll take a look at the All-Star Scaffolding instant replay. That is a close call. Dale thought he got him, but it looks like he just barely missed the tag on Cosma. Even if he made that tag, the run would have scored anyway. Boyarsky scoring from second to make the score 5-2.
And that's the right play for that throw to go to third, knowing that there was no shot to get him at home. And that's really all you can do there, just try to make it close. And Dale did his job applying the tag just a little bit late.
Heck of a throw from Robson, though, on a bounce across the diamond. A little bit out in front. Dale, I think, trying to shuffle forward to see if he can make that tag sooner. So it won't be 5 unanswered runs for Melbourne tonight, mirroring the score of last night, as that one is scooted right to Dale. Quick throw to second, and that ends the inning. We're halfway home in Melbourne Ballpark. The Heat get another run across. 2 hits, 2 left, and it's 5-2 Perth. The Aces look to rebound in the second half of this contest. Stick with us here on Aces TV.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
We're at the halfway point of Game 2 of Round 2. Perth Heat lead the Melbourne Aces 5-2. As a nice Aces fan contingent here at Melbourne Ballpark. Brock Gilliam out for the 5th inning. In line for the victory if he completes this one. The Heat out hitting the Aces 8-6. But there have been base hits early and often in this contest, something we've seen a bit less of. It's been a lot more pitching-oriented in the first couple games of this season, and now it's going to have to be the Aces' offense that propel them. So Jared Cruz leads off the 5th, 9-1-2 for Melbourne, as he awaits the first pitch from Gilliam. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-0. Aces coming off of one of their best offensive innings of the season. 3 hits, all of them going for extra bases, and 2 runs scored. The pitch. That one is hit high in the air out to left field. Collins misread it, but ends up getting it for out number 1. Kind of leaned back, thought it was going to go a bit further, but it hung up there for him. And a sinking liner makes it 1 out to reset the order. Aaron Whitefield coming off of a rare pickoff after he earned his first hit of the ball game, or the first hit of his Aces career, and of the ball game, I guess, in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 1 for 2 is Whitefield, the former Heat player. Won a couple of championships and Helms Awards, as well as Defensive Player of the Year nod with Perth. And the 2 guys in the Aces lineup with MLB experience. Played most of last season with the Rocket City Trash Pandas in Double-A. This one rocketed out to deep left field, keeps going back, and that's going to one-hop the wall. Whitefield turning on the Jets, and he'll take a long turnaround second. Shallow cutoff, and Aaron Whitefield slides into 3rd with a triple. That's the former Helms Award winner on display. All 5 tools. Contact, good power, and great speed, legging that out into a triple. On a windier night, that could have been his first Aces home run. Bounced over the head of Boyarsky, and Whitefield seeing the left fielder. Check that was Liam Collins. He saw that he mishandled the pickup, ends up with a triple. And this is the guy Aces fans expected when they signed him. 2 hits in consecutive at bat for Aaron Whitefield, and he is 90 feet away from cutting down the Heat lead. Burke trying to help that along, but he fouls the first pitch into the netting. Count 0-1. Chris Burke getting into pretty deep counts in his first 2 at-bats, but 2 fly outs to left field. He's 0 for 2, but he's a guy who has come up in big spots hitting-wise for the Melbourne Aces so far this season. Sliced into the netting again, and that's going to land in the stands. Ends up in the hands of an Aces fan. One of my favorite chants, a short one at that, but trying to make sure that the fan gives the foul ball to a kid. 0-2 count to Burke, staying aggressive at the plate here. 1 away, runner on third. That is lofted high in the air, not deep enough, so Whitefield's going to go back to third. Caminero calls everyone off to make the catch. 2 away now. That'll bring up Robbie Glendening, who's 2 for 2. Another former Heat player who has made quite a big impact. This is second start for Melbourne. He's got a hit in every game he's played with the Aces. 2 hits in this game. His first at bat with the Aces came in pinch hit fashion late in that extra inning game last Saturday. Singled Whitefield over as he tips it into the glove of Alex Hall. And Glendening scored the Aces' first run in his last at bat. Leadoff double in the 4th. And now a chance to drive in his roommate. Aaron Whitefield, a guy that Glendening played with in Perth, now in Melbourne, and on the Australian national team. 2 players expected to be featured in Australia's roster in the World Baseball Classic, which just got one of its biggest announcements. Though not on the team that Team Australia played in Japan just a couple weeks ago, Shohei Ohtani announced that he will be part of Team Japan in the World Baseball Classic. That's lifted high in the air out to right field, drifting foul, and that's going to land in the batting cages past the All-Star bar. Still 0-2 to Glendening. And him and Whitefield combined for the only run of Australia's Samurai Series in Japan 2 weeks ago. Aaron Whitefield got a hit in the first inning, and Robbie Glendening drove him home. That game finished 8-1. The second in that set finished 9-0 against one of the international baseball juggernauts, and maybe with Ohtani's recent announcement coming to Japan for the World Baseball Classic, potentially the favorite in that competition. A lot of talented rosters, particularly in Team USA and Team Japan, and we're seeing a big chunk of Team Australia playing here tonight. 0-2. High fastball, 1-2. 3 teams in the ABL supplied 5 players to Team Australia's Japan Series roster. The Perth Heat was one of them, those. The Aces led all ABL teams with 8 players on that roster. 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Glendening down on strikes to end the 5th inning. So a 1-out triple by Aaron Whitefield will leave him at third base. Good outing from Brock Gilliam as the Aces strand 1 on 1 hit. Heading into the 6th here at Melbourne Ballpark. Perth 5, Melbourne 2.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most, to share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Pitching change for the Melbourne Aces. On the mound is Cameron Gibbons.
Aces come close to a second run in that fifth inning, but we're heading into the sixth. Still a 3-run deficit for Melbourne, but the Aces will bring a new pitcher to the mound, a tall, lanky right-hander in Cameron Gibbons, getting his first action of the season. He was part of that Aces contingent in Japan a couple weeks back.
Gibbons has been a nice piece to the Aces puzzle over the last couple years in Melbourne. A live arm, young kid in the Dodgers organization. Grew up a Dodgers fan and now gets a chance to pitch in their system as a professional. Pretty cool. Fastball slider, just a two-pitch pitcher, but is able to get it done with just those two pitches.
And Gibbons did not play in that round against Geelong Korea. He'll usually be used as a reliever. And he's in the game in the pitching change courtesy of punt123.bet. Two seasons with the Dodgers organization. Made it as high as Double-A Tulsa last year. And now he'll face the Heat order, beginning with Liam Collins. First pitch, misses upstairs, the fastball, 1-0. In the minors, 4-2 record, 6.24 ERA in 45 relief appearances across three levels of the Dodgers system. 1-0 misses inside, count 2-0. And from a lot of these tall pitchers, you can expect a whole lot of heat. And Gibbons, 6'8". Tied with Brian Flynn as the tallest player in the ABL this year, as another fastball misses upstairs to make it 3-0. Low 90s heater. Our production team at Sportcast Australia shows a 90-mile-an-hour fastball for Gibbons in that last one. 3-0 now to Liam Collins. Another high fastball, a 4-pitch walk to start off Gibbons' season with Melbourne. Guy who's been here for quite a while. Guy who has his picture on the front of Melbourne Ballpark.
You don't see young guys like that get their picture all huge outside of ballparks, so that's got to be cool for Cam.
In his fourth season with Melbourne, a part of those two championship teams. Joining Dan McGrath and Darryl George as the two guys with their solo pictures on the outside of Melbourne Ballpark. 5 pitches, 5 balls. That one close to grazing Tim Kennelly. And now Matt O'Neill will come out to have a chat with the tall righty. While he does that, we're going to take a quick look at the scoreboard in the ABL. Adelaide beat Geelong 9-5 in the opening game of that round yesterday. Today, a 2-1 win for the Adelaide Giants, so Geelong 0-2 record at home. Adelaide will be the next opponent of the Melbourne Aces. Canberra is facing Auckland as another pitch misses. 6 straight balls from Gibbons. And in that contest, Canberra leads 3-1 in the top of the 8th. And in Brisbane versus Sydney, it's the Blue Sox leading 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. That game at Blacktown International Sports Park in Sydney. Another 3-0 count for Gibbons. And his teammate on the Australian national team, and Tim Kennelly, now close to walking for the second time. He's 1 for 2 with a double and a walk. Now the 3-0. That one right down the pike, eliciting a cheer from the Aces crowd here. First strike of the season thrown for Cam Gibbons.
Well, these Australians have a lot of opportunities to see each other play, whether against each other in the ABL over the years or with Team Australia. So all these guys are familiar with each other. Pitchers know what kind of hitters the batters are, and the position players know what pitches these guys throw.
And that, two outings, or two batters faced, and that's going to bring up Peter Moylan to talk to Cam Gibbons. Doesn't look like he's getting the hook. But, I mean, not too many better guys to kind of set your mind right than the Aces manager in Peter Moylan.
Yeah, tough start to the season for Gibbons there. You saw him bend down behind the mound to tie his one shoelace. I wonder if that affected his delivery at all. Maybe his shoe was a little bit loose or just not on properly. But a tough start to the inning, walking the first two batters, and now he's put himself in a jam with the top of the order up.
And you do see Jeremy Young getting loose in the Aces bullpen, a guy who was nothing short of spectacular in that opening round against Geelong.
Yeah, 4 really solid innings, threw a scoreless inning in the opener, and then those 3 extra inning frames that he tossed. Had to deal with runners on first and second to start all 3 of those innings, and in all but one of the innings, stranded all the runners.
Did end up getting the win in the 13th. Did allow the 2 ghost runners to score, but a Matt O'Neill grand slam turned the tide for Melbourne. And another pitch missing upstairs from Gibbons. A lot of fastballs, but only one has hit the zone. 1-0 count to Willie Vasquez now. Here he goes. That one sliced high and foul over the party deck, and it's 1-1. Two on and nobody out for Perth. For another one of the Rays' top prospects in Willie Vasquez. Sliced foul into the netting. Without that netting, that one hits me in the face.
Yeah, I was ready for that. Just a reflex, putting the hand up. Would have hurt if I had barehanded that. Back in the States, I usually have my glove up in the booth with me, just in case, because you just never know.
Why not now?
Now here, I'm scouting out the situation we got here.
Vasquez laces this into right field. Easy play for Robson to make the grab. Tagging to third on the play is Collins.
See, here it would really, really be hard for us to get a ball up here because of the way the netting is set up. I don't know that one can sneak through to us, and then even if one did, I got this window closed in front of me.
Yeah, the netting's pretty solidly secured to that roof. There might be one spot, but the ball would have to be hit in just an absolutely perfect storm of a way to get it into the booth here.
Now, a lot of the press boxes in the United States and in minor league parks were up a little bit higher, so the netting behind home plate and around the bases doesn't go up all the way. So there's a chance for it to sneak over and come in the press box.
Ever since I saw that, I think it was the Texas A&M broadcaster catch a ball mid-call, I want to do that one time. That'd be so cool.
Sweet, yeah.
My athletic ability might complicate that, but that's neither here nor there.
At that point, it's all reflexes.
Oh, that I have in spades for sure.
I know we both were out broadcasting in the California Winter League in recent years. You this past year in 2022. I was out there in 2018. Well, and you know how everything's set up in the press box out there. It's pretty open, and there's just not a lot of cover. Now, the one game, the computer that was running the music up in the press box, let's just say that was the last day that computer was in use. Foul ball came right up, right into the laptop.
Oh, man.
It's gone.
And that one skied out of play, 2-2. Actually, one of your predecessors in Aberdeen, I got to see him get his day ended in a very difficult way. When I was still working in Brooklyn, A foul ball landed right smack on his laptop. Broadcaster's worst nightmare.
I feel for that.
Reddick laces it into left field. Burke slides. Did he get it? No, he did not. Just squirted out of his glove. So it's an excuse me single from Josh Reddick, and the run scoring continues. Chris Burke was millimeters away from making an incredible defensive play. Instead, it's an RBI single for the former World Series champion Josh Reddick.
Well, one of those walks has already come in to score. Taking a look at the replay, Burke got so close to it, but it sunk so quickly out there he couldn't get there in time. But that's what happens when you walk guys. They usually come around to score, especially early on in the innings.
6-2 the score now. 1 out and 2 on for Junior Caminero. Hits that one into the net over the Aces dugout. Count 0-1. First time Gibbons has been ahead of a hitter since the Willie Vasquez at bat. Now an 0-1 count to the Rays' number 17 prospect. Here's Gibbons. That one is lined right at Dale. Flips to Cruz for one, on to first. Double play. Jared Cruz just gets Caminero in time. And 6-4-3 racks up the Heat to finish off the 6th inning. One run, though, comes across on one hit and one left. But a defensive highlight reel barely ends the top of the 6th inning. Heat leads 6-2, but the Aces with a chance to come back here on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Brock Gilliam still on the mound for Perth, but the Aces fans still coming out in droves supporting their hometown club. 6-2, though, the lead for Perth, and it's really just been the last 3 innings, Mike, that the Heat have turned things up against Melbourne.
You could tell early on tonight that Dan McGrath just wasn't as sharp as he's been lately, but he did a great job limiting the damage early, and then the Heat bats took advantage in the 4th inning, and then since then they've done a good job from their perspective extending the lead and tacking on.
And it's really just been a tale of 2 swings. The Song Chan Oi home run at the end of round 1 as Robson swings and misses the first pitch of the bottom 6. And then the Ulrich Bojarski, another 3-run home run.
Yeah, a couple of big blows, and obviously pitchers, they don't mind giving up solo home runs, but 3-run home runs, those are going to hurt you.
And Robson laces this one high in the air out to center field. Easy run for Josh Reddick. Fundamental 2-handed grab for the 13-year vet. Quick first down for the Aces. That'll bring up J.D. Osborne. 2 ground outs for him tonight, but, I mean, we can't talk enough about how strong of a game he played last night.
Yeah, able to hit balls with authority to all fields. He drove that ball deep to right field early in the ball game. It was caught, was robbed of extra bases, then a hard hit ball up the middle to tie the game, and then added the insurance runs with a double rip down the left field line.
Really the clincher, that RBI double in the 8th. As if you look on the Aces social media channels, we dubbed that the J.D. Osborne game, as he swings and misses at strike 1.
Yeah, 8 RBIs already this season for J.D. in 4 games.
Yeah, 4 of them coming yesterday.
Had that 3-run homer in round 1 against Geelong. So here's a guy coming on with the bat pretty quickly this year.
And that's laced to second. Diving play, Pete Kozma robs Osborne of a base hit. The former major leaguer flashing the leather for the second out.
He's really smooth over there. Just has that quick first step, which a lot of times is what separates a big leaguer from a non-big leaguer, and just tracked it into the glove and was under control the entire time.
Yeah, the bat really hasn't been there for Kozma, just the one single in the 5th, but defensively he's looked every bit the big league vet.
Yeah, and a lot of times guys that aren't, just pure hitters need to find other ways to get to the big leagues, and for Kozma, his glove helped.
And there's a chopper over to first, flip to the pitcher, and a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Perth Heat. 3-1 on the putout of Jared Dale, and we'll head into the 7th. Aussie Mike will take over the call. The Aces will look to hold the Heat lead at 4. 6-2 here on Aces TV.
Pastry, watch this Taylor kick the sky. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Top of the 7th inning from Melbourne Ballpark. Aussie Mike and Josh Sperber fighting off mosquitoes up here in the broadcast booth. Great night for a ball game here in beautiful state of Victoria in Australia. Josh, we've been here about a month now, and this is, I think, the nicest day that we've had since we've been in town.
Without question. It has just been perfect weather all day long today. Beautiful clear skies.
Peter Moylan goes to the bullpen. 4th pitcher of the night for the Aces. This punt 1-2-3 pitching change brings on righty Jeremy Young, who's working quickly. He's already thrown 2 pitches, and he is ahead in the count 0-2 on Ulrich Bojarski. So it's Bojarski, Kozma, and Hall. As Young comes on to make his 3rd appearance of the season. 4 really solid innings for Young in 2 games against Geelong, Korea in round 1. It's a chase there, appeal down to first, no need. It's a called strike 3. Well, it's a swinging strike 3 called by the home plate umpire. And a quick out number 1 for Young in the 7th.
3 pitches, 3 strikes. It's a pretty good way to start off the game. But
that'll work.
That's come to be what we've expected from Jeremy Young. He has come up big in big spots for Melbourne. This really his lowest leverage situation of the season.
Young allowed 2 unearned runs in 3 innings of work in the win in the 13-inning marathon against Geelong. Got in on the hands of Cosma there, who sends one out to short. Dale takes care of that. 2 up, 2 down on 4 pitches.
Just a real easy out and more of the same from Jeremy Young. He's attacking hitters, inducing weak contact, and striking guys out.
Young was really efficient in that November 12th outing against Geelong Korea. Needed just 35 pitches to get through 3 innings. And again, in all 3 of those innings, he started with runners at first and second because of the extra inning rules, the international tiebreaker rules here in the ABL. Allowed just 2 of those 6 runners to score that were placed on the bags at the start of the innings. Gave up the lead. Geelong took a 5-3 lead in the top of the 13th, but the Aces, when the game was completed the next day, needed just 3 batters to score 5 runs, and an out was not recorded in the bottom of the 13th. The Aces took home that win, and they haven't stopped winning since.
Yeah, 3 straight wins for Melbourne. 2 of them coming off the heels of that walk-off grand slam.
One off the glove of Cruz into right field. That one ate him up. Should go down as an E4. No 1-2-3 inning for Young.
Now we'll take a look at the replay here. That one going right at Cruz, but just bounced in a weird spot. The turf bounces are even harder. That one bounced maybe a foot in front of him. A really close call.
Either way, Hall is on base for the 3rd time tonight. He's reached twice safely. A pair of singles. He's driven in a run. He's also scored 1. Here's Jake Bowie, the first baseman. Well, they did give him a hit on there, so it's 3 singles in the game for Hall. So no E4 on Jared Cruz. So Hall tonight, after striking out 3 times, has hit his way on base 3 times tonight. 10 hits now in the game for Perth. As Young goes with the fastball and gets a called strike, 1-1 on Bowie. Dan McGrath started for the Aces, gave up 4 runs, 3 earned in 4 innings of work, struck out 3. Darcy Longstaff gave up a run in the 5th. Gibbons gave up a run in the 6th. And here's the 11th base hit of the day for the Heat. Bowie sneaks one through into center field. 2 hits for him. Back-to-back singles here with 2 down. That brings up the 9-hole hitter Collins.
And something that the Aces can take pride in is, I mean, for the most part, they're not giving up those just belted balls. It's just balls that are hitting to the right spots. Perth just finding the holes in the Aces defense and hitting the ball pretty hard, but mainly on a line or on the ground.
Young looking to work his way through this inning. Good fastball up top, swing and a miss.
But, I mean, you got to remember, Mike, Perth came into this game leading the ABL in most batting categories. The only one really they weren't near the top of was home runs.
An 870 OPS for the Heat through their first 5 games of the ABL season. And an 870 OPS is excellent. 2-strike pitch, swing and a miss. Jeremy Young picks up the punch out to end the frame. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Young, and we are through 6.5 in Melbourne. Bottom 7 after this, time to stretch. Keep it locked right here on the Aces TV network. For over 45 years, Hobson's Bay Dental has delivered the best results through continually updating their skills and technology. Dr. Andrews and his team also take great pride in treating patients like family. Melbourne Aces players trust their teeth to Hobson's Bay Dental, and you should too. Business Network International is flourishing across Melbourne's West and Geelong. Local businesses, including the Aces, join BNI for professional development networking opportunities and to increase business prospects. Find your local BNI chapter to tap into a wealth of resources and join a winning team.
Light and Easy is the official meal provider for the Aces, making life easier for everyone here at Melbourne Ballpark. Take a look at what our players think.
What are you up to, Aussie Mike?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm just getting a little food in me, got to stay fueled for those broadcasts. And, before I go on air, got to have something light and easy. I really like this egg and avocado salad one, gives me all the fuel I need and, not too heavy on the stomach. Like I say, I always get hungry in the middle innings, so I got my snacks for later on in the game. Light and easy, always keeping me fueled.
For a game, I need something light and easy to get me going. I've really been enjoying the steak with Diane sauce and some veggies.
Stretch time here at Melbourne Ballpark as the Aces are looking for some runs. Michael Marcantonini, Josh Sperber with you in the booth. Aces trail 6-2 as we get set for the home half of the seventh. Josh, tough night for the Aces, but Jeremy Young hopefully settling things down as he just tossed a scoreless seventh as the Aces look for some runs.
Yeah, a couple of hits, but still Young just always seems to get the job done. And now I know what you did during that seventh inning stretch. You went and got yourself some light and easy.
I'm always ready to eat, and just like I said in the ad there, something light and easy before the game, just give me enough fuel to get through the game, and then I get hungry in the middle innings. I got those light and easy snacks to hold me over until the post game when I grub again.
All right, those things help me survive during the day, I'll tell you.
Light and easy hooks it up.
Yeah.
It's not just meals, it's snacks too. They do it all.
And snacks are the most important meal.
Love snacks. I've had people call me Snacks before as a nickname because I always have them on me.
Are you Damon Harrison?
No, I'm Aussie Mike. Haven't you been following along these last couple weeks?
No, I'm just here so I don't get fined. Oh, wait, no, wrong sport.
Aces looking for some runs. Down 4, bottom 7. Matt O'Neill, Ryan Dale, Jared Cruz, the bottom 3 in the order. That one's tapped foul.
For those of you that aren't American football fans, the Giants and the Detroit Lions had a defensive tackle a couple of years ago that was nicknamed Snacks. My personal favorite nickname of all time.
That's good. It really is. Fly ball deep left center field. Reddick is over in the gap as he camps under it to make the grab. O'Neill retired to start the seventh.
And Matt might need a new bat after that one. You could hear that ball just didn't get the right part of the barrel, just right underneath it. And I think I heard a little bit of a crack.
1 up, 1 down in the seventh for Brock Gilliam, looking to complete 7 innings. As O'Neill slammed his bat as he knew that ball wasn't getting down. So O'Neill now 0 for 3. Here's Dale, who's looking to avoid going 0 for 3.
And O'Neill just got underneath that one. Dale's a guy who's come up pretty big when needed to. Had that go-ahead sac fly last night.
Line drive into left field. It's down in front of Collins. So Dale picks up his first hit of the night.
And last night we talked about small ball, and that's really what the Aces need to do just to get things started. 8 hits on the day after that Dale single. And they just need those little hits, just one at a time, to just try and get a rally going. And Ryan Dale doing that with a good piece of hitting out to left.
Both of the Aces' runs came in the bottom of the 4th inning. Robbie Glendinning, Jacob Robson, and Jared Dale all doubled in the inning. Robson and Dale picked up the RBIs. That's it. Just the 2 runs on the scoreboard for the Aces. They do have 8 hits. Meanwhile, the Heat, 6 runs on 11 hits. They've done a better job of scratching those runs across the scoreboard.
And the next hit will have both teams combined for 20. That's about as many hits as the Aces had in the first round against Geelong.
And you say you're not good at math.
Oh, I'm just making things up as I go along. No, I'm okay at simple math. My mom literally is the reason I passed high school math, though. I'll tell you that.
Hey, we all need help. It's a team effort.
Especially when it comes to me and math.
Cruz looking to make something happen. 1-1 the count. Breaking ball down and away. It's 2-1 on Jared. Jared, one of 4 guys in this Aces lineup whose first name starts with the letter J. It's just random things you notice throughout a season during a game.
Well, 5 if you count the broadcaster.
I should have.
That's all right. I'm not hitting anything.
2-1 to Cruz. Nasty pitch on the hands. Count even at 2-2.
And Gilliam's still looking like he's got some life in his pitches this late in the game. Looking at his pitch count, it's just a hair under 90. It's 83 pitches thrown so far, 61 for strikes.
He's done a good job helping the Heat save their bullpen, and he picks up another strikeout. 3 punch-outs for him. Cruz is out number 2 in the 7th.
And he's just pitching to contact. I mean, the Aces are scratching a couple hits here and there, but Gilliam really clamping down when he needs to, and by that I mean when there are runners on base. I mean, Aaron Whitefield in the last inning had a 1-out triple, and he followed that up by a pop-up to third and a strikeout to end the inning without one of the Aces' most dangerous hitters coming home.
Whitefield 2 for 3 tonight. Swing and a miss at a pitch diving down and away from him. Quickly down 0-1. Well, Gilliam had a really solid collegiate career at Washburn University. Took advantage of the COVID year, stayed 5 years. In his final year at Washburn, as a 23-year-old, he went 7-2 with a 3.89 ERA and 13 starts. Solid numbers in pro ball as well. Chopper to third, backpedaling is Caminero, goes the short way to second, and the 5-4 fielder's choice ends the inning. So after 7 full, the Aces trail by 4, a 6-2 lead for the Heat in Game 2 of Round 2. We're headed to the top of the 8th after a quick break. Keep it right here on the Aces TV network.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
First pitch of the top of the 8th is sent over to third base. Ryan Dale handles it and sends it over to Osborne across the diamond. 1 pitch, 1 out for Jeremy Young in the top of the 8th. So Kennelly's retired. Here's Willie Vasquez, the shortstop.
Young's working like they're playing with a pitch clock. Really quick start to that 8th inning.
I'm a big fan of when Jeremy Young takes the hill for one of those reasons specifically, because he works so quick.
And because he just gets outs.
Yeah. Outs are good. Aces need some outs. They need some runs. They need at least 4 with 2 at-bats left, 6 outs to play with. It's the Perth Heat 6 and the Melbourne Aces 2. Hard hit ground ball out to second. Cruz waits back on it. 2 ground ball outs for Jeremy Young to start the 8th. And Josh, Jeremy Young is just, when he's out on the mound, I think the defense behind him knows that he's going to get the job done. Everybody in the dugout knows that he's going to settle things down and kind of keep the score where it's at, regardless of if the Aces have the lead, if they're trailing, if it's tied.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really a flashy pitcher. I mean, you look at him, he's not certainly not one of the taller players on the Aces lineup, but he just, as you said, he just goes in there and gets outs.
First pitch strike to Josh Reddick. Didn't look like he was ready to hit. He just kind of dropped the bat before the pitch even got there. It's 0-1. Young looking for a 1-2-3 inning, and it's quickly 0-2. Reminder to fans listening at home, Bark at the Park Day on Sunday at 1 p.m. here at Melbourne Ballpark. So if you got a dog, you want to come out and watch a baseball game, you should all come out to the ballpark. So bring your four-legged friend, send him up to the booth, or send him or her up to the booth so we can give them all the pets.
Oh, yeah.
But Bark at the Park Day at Melbourne Ballpark, Sunday, 1 p.m. first pitch in the series finale between the Heat and the Aces. Reddick sends one over to first. Diving stop by Osborne. Knocks it down, throws to first in time to get Reddick. 3-1 on the putout. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Jeremy Young. And J.D. Osborne flashing the leather over at first. Score stays 6-2. We go to the bottom of the eighth after this on the Aces TV network.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
4-run deficit for the Melbourne Aces as the Perth Heat lead this one 6-2 in Game 2 of Round 2. The Aces took home a 5-2 comeback win in last night's game. Not the same story tonight. They were down early once again, but this time the Heat have led the entire way to this point, but still 6 outs to play with for the Aces. We welcome you back inside our broadcast booth. He's Josh Sperber. I'm Aussie Mike, also known as Michael Mark Cantonini, but I like Aussie Mike better. New pitcher into the game for the Perth Heat. A punt 1-2-3 pitching change. Left-hander Connor Higgins is the new arm for the Heat. Brock Gilliam, 7 innings of 2-run baseball tonight. He was exceptional, and he's in line for his second win of the season in as many starts if this score holds out. Gilliam scattered 8 hits, but just the 2 runs home. Burke swings at the first pitch. He sees, rolls one to second. Cosma in one motion flips it and shovels it over to first. Burke retired on a bang-bang play.
And just, again, another big league play from Pete Cosma. Bare-hander, almost touching the ground there. Really nice play from Pete Cosma.
So Higgins with an easy play for out number 1. And that brings up the 3-hole hitter, Robbie Glendinning. Next pitch to Glendinning. That one misses down. Aces trail 6-2, looking for some runs. Glendinning doubled in the 4th. He singled his first time up. Guy just hits. He got that rally started in the 4th inning, and now he drives one out to deep left center field, but Reddick lays out and makes a spectacular grab. The 13-year big league veteran Josh Reddick patrolling center tonight. He's done an excellent job.
I think Reddick and Aaron Whitefield are playing a game of anything you can do, I can do better. And look at that. Leaping catch. Josh Reddick laying all the way out to rob Robbie Glendinning of extra bases.
Ball was hit really hard, and Reddick didn't have a lot of time to react and decide to lay out for that. But took extra bases away from Robbie Glendinning. Would have been his third hit of the night. So 2 up, 2 down for Higgins, who is on for the second time this season. Worked a scoreless inning in round 1 against Adelaide. And Robson flicks one foul down the third base line. Robson's looking for his third hit of the night.
Robson's played solid defense in right field. Obviously not flashy with the leather like we saw from Reddick, but getting the job done.
Chopper to Cosma at second. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Higgins, an easy 8th. And the Aces are down to their final 3 outs. We go to the 9th with the Aces trailing by 4, top 9, after a quick break on the Melbourne Aces TV network.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Top of the 9th here, Jeremy Young still on the mound, gets the first pitch from Junior Caminero, and a nice play at short by Jared Dale. 1 pitch, 1 out for the second straight frame.
Yeah, Jeremy Young continues to work quickly. He's around the zone all the time. And, you know, hitters, you just see the ball in the zone, they swing at it, but not a lot of hard contact against Jeremy.
It's just kind of difficult to do that. I mean, Dale has just been so good when called upon for Melbourne. And there he gets Ulrich Bojarski to swing and miss. In those high-leverage situations like we saw in extra innings, still no earned run, just the 2 ghost runners coming home against Jeremy Young. And now looking for more of the same. High chopper to short, Dale again. A long throw to first, and there is out number 2. Really smooth at short is Jared Dale, and there's 2 away here quickly in the top of the 9th.
Steady diet of ground balls, Young keeping the ball down in the zone, and all the Heat hitters can do is beat it into the ground. But yeah, taking a look at this play by Jared Dale, goes with the backhand, long throw, not an easy play, but he's really smooth over there.
A really exciting prospect for Team Australia, and also in the San Diego Padres organization. Now 2 outs to bring up Pete Cosma. 1 for 4 on the day, and he's made some really nice plays on defense like Jared Dale.
Yeah, and didn't do much with the bat last night, but tonight really doing it on both sides of the scorecard.
A 1-0 count to the former major leaguer. First-round pick by the Cardinals in 2007. And there a breaking ball floats in for a called strike. 4 years in the minors for Cosmo before he came to the majors. 7 years of major league experience, mostly with St. Louis. Jared Dale's a busy man this inning. 3 grounders, 3 outs. And Jeremy Young gets a second straight 1-2 inning. 6-3, 6-3, 6-3. Is this baseball or tennis? I guess we'll find out. Bottom of the 9th inning coming up at Melbourne Ballpark. Aces last licks as they look to overcome a 4-run deficit.
Oh, we'd be there for every game of 4 and 25. When Brownie takes one for the team, he's one big hungry guy. Oh, what a lovely time he makes a 4 and 25. Glory!
Little popcorn pyramid in the stands there. Is this the Australian version of a cup snake?
I don't know, but I like it. I really do. That's got to be tough to do because the seat only goes up so far, and then you don't have anything to balance the rest of it off of. But I'll tell you what, tough night for the Melbourne Aces, still with 3 outs to work with. But this made my night being able to analyze this popcorn cup pyramid.
I mean, can we call that the play of the game? I mean, I'm with it. That's impressive.
Well, they did give out a lot of free popcorn here at Melbourne Ballpark earlier in the game, so making use of the empty containers. I just hope they find a trash can a little later so we don't have to pick them up later.
Yeah, no one wants that. But Connor Higgins back out for the 9th after a quick 8th inning. 7 pitches, 4 of them for strikes. So he'll be called upon for the final 6 outs. Not a save situation, though, as the Heat lead 6-2 over the Melbourne Aces. He'll have to do it against a tough part of the Melbourne's order, though. J.D. Osborne, the hero last night. Jared Dale, who just recorded 3 straight ground ball outs. And then Matt O'Neill in the hole in the 9th inning. We've seen some 9th inning magic from Melbourne before, but this would be the biggest deficit they've overcome this season. First pitch misses upstairs to Osborne, who after 2 hits and 4 RBIs last night, scoring or driving in all 5 runs for the Aces last night. 1 run scored, 4 batted in. He's 0 for 3 tonight, but his last at bat, he went down at the hands of a really nice play by Pete Kozma. 2-0. Upstairs again, it's 3-0. The Heat bullpen are all spectators tonight. No one getting loose, so it's Connor Higgins' 9th inning. And this is a good start for the Aces. 3-0 pitch misses low, and the leadoff man will reach base. J.D. Osborne on the bags for the first time. 1 on and nobody out for Jared Dale.
Another chance for the Aces to put a rally together. They just need base runners right now. Got to push across some runs, and Osborne knows that his run doesn't mean much unless they get more guys on, so he's going to probably stay pretty close to first base there.
And a walk is as good as a hit. And J.D. Osborne on the base pass, and a first strike of the inning comes to Jared Dale on the inside fastball. He had an RBI double in the 4th. 1 for 3 on the night. And up in a pretty big spot here. Dummies the bunt, pulls back in time to miss the high fastball. 1-1. Osborne has good speed, but doesn't look like he is trying to steal as Dale fouls one back into the netting. A couple of baseballs just hanging on that net behind home plate. It's 1-2. Perth leads 6-2. The 1-2 pitch, cut on and missed, and with a runner on first base, the drop third strike is irrelevant. First K of the day for Connor Higgins. And there is one out here in the bottom of the ninth.
Not a lot of strikeouts for the Perth pitching staff tonight. Gilliam and now Higgins pitching well to contact, and that's been a recipe for success.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts for Gilliam, and that makes 4 in total with Higgins' first punch-out. Now Matt O'Neill takes a look at a high fastball, 1-0. O'Neill 0 for 3 on the day. Did reach on a fielder's choice in the 4th, though. O'Neill, though, one of the most memorable late-game moments with a walk-off grand slam to finish off a over 5-hour game that spanned 2 days here at Melbourne Ballpark. His first homer in the ABL, 2-0. Inside, 3-0.
We called it a strike.
Wait,
wow.
When?
Wow. And the missed call, now he messes up your book. I mean, that pitch is nowhere close.
I don't like criticizing the umpires, but that looked pretty clean cut as ball 3. 2-1 anyway. There's ball 3.
Well, he's seen 4 balls, but only 3 of them counted as balls.
3-1. And another close call there. It's outside. Count now full to 3-2. We'll take a look, see how much better this one is. No, that looked like a strike. Payoff pitch. High in the air. Foul. We'll do it again. Didn't see Osborne off and running on that pitch. But quick contact from Matt O'Neill. A Cyclones farmhand, or a Mets farmhand, played most of his year with the Brooklyn Cyclones. 5 homers, 35 RBIs. As that one is laced into right field. That's going to reach the gap. Off the wall. Osborne's going to head to third base. O'Neill's going to stand up at second. Osborne holds up at third base. It's a 1-out double for Matt O'Neill, and that could be a rally starter.
He's got some serious opposite field power in that bat. Goes with the pitch to right field so well. And another Matt O'Neill plate appearance in which he really worked the count. He got ahead in the count and was able to get a pitch to drive, just going with that pitch on the outer half and smacked it off that wall.
Got to give some credit to Ulrich Boyarsky, though. That one took a hefty bounce off the wall, and Boyarsky was able to stick with it and hold Osborne at third. So now 2 on and 1 out for Ryan Dale. Weak ground at a second. Osborne's coming home. He will score, but Vasquez gets out number 2 at first. It's an RBI ground out for Dale. 6-3 the score, but Melbourne down to their final out.
Well, the insurance runs that the Heat got in the middle innings so key right now because of this rally that the Aces are putting together, but it also, at the same time, shows how important the 3 shutout innings for Jeremy Young were to keep this game close, to give the Aces a chance.
And that's something that Young has done in his couple of outings all season. Just big innings for Melbourne, keeping it close. That one gets away from the catcher, Hall. It'll just be a harmless ball 1 to Dale as O'Neill stays on third. O'Neill moved up on the ground out. Heads up base running. Aces aggressive, usually on balls to the left side. You don't see a runner on second base go. And that one is a sinking liner into the glove of Cosma. That will end the game. The Aces suffer their second loss of the season. The 3-game streak is over, and Perth moves to 4-2 on the day. 6-3 the final score, but still a solid game for the Aces. They get 3 runs on 9 hits, Perth 6 on 11. And now the fireworks show will start here at Melbourne Ballpark.
Tough one for the Aces tonight, Josh. There's not a ton going offensively. And like I said in the pregame, you want to mount a rally early, string some hits together. The Aces did get two-out singles in the first inning, and then they strung those 3 doubles together in the fourth. But Perth got the early lead. They extended their lead, did the Heat. So credit to them for scoring early and often throughout the game, and the pitching was excellent from Gilliam and Higgins.
So the starters get the decisions. First loss of the season for Dan McGrath. Second win of the season for Brock Gilliam. He went 7 innings, and for McGrath, he did a lot of his best work on the base pass, a couple of pickoffs early on.
Yeah, it was impressive to see him work around the traffic on the base pass, and his defense helped him out. Taking a look at some of the highlights here on the All-Star replays, Aaron Whitefield made a nice play in center. Chris Burke heads up, started a 7-4 double play in the first inning. But so Dan McGrath did a good job working around the traffic that was out on the base pass early, and then the Heat just got to him in that fourth.
And that 3-double inning in the fourth inning did result in the ejection of Perth's manager, but was a big offensive outburst for Melbourne. Robbie Glendinning starting it off with a leadoff double, and that was the Jared Dale double that led to the ejection of Andrew Kyle.
Yeah, good to see Jared get on the board with his first hit of the season in this game tonight. Scorched that ball down the line, and we talked about it earlier. He looked really good in batting practice today, getting locked in, trying to get things going after not playing in round 1 of the ABL season. So good for Jared, and you talk about Glendinning and Robson with the doubles in the inning as well. Those guys are off to a hot start this year.
And then late in the contest, didn't really prove to be needed, but the Heat putting on a final run in the 6th inning. And then a nice little double play for the Melbourne Aces to end off that frame, hold Perth at just 1 run before Jeremy Young shut him down. And then look at this catch by Josh Reddick. That might be the play of the game.
Yeah, went completely airborne for that one. A guy who mostly played right field in his big league career, at least in the later years of his time in the major leagues, but patrolling center here for the Heat. That was impressive, and it was fun to watch for sure. Anytime you see a highlight reel grab, no matter what side, it's definitely exciting.
And fireworks, always an exciting part to end it. Would have preferred more fireworks, but you got to like the promising kind of offensive outburst. Not as many runs, but still 9 hits in the game for the Aces. That's some solid offense.
And the Aces show that they won't quit. 9th inning, down 4. Matt O'Neill, well, actually first J.D. Osborne starting up with the walk, knowing you need somebody on base. You got to get that leadoff man on to gain some momentum back. And then later in that inning, Matt O'Neill with the double, taking it Oppo with authority off the right field wall. So this team won't quit. As long as they have outs to play with, they're going to fight, and that's what they did tonight. Just fell a little bit too far behind early.
And round 2 tied at 1 win apiece. That will continue tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're going to see the debut of a very exciting Aces pitcher in Kyuta Kazama.
Really excited to see what Kazama had. Still a teenager, 19 years old. This guy was born in 2003. How old does that make you feel? It's crazy.
Oh, I'm 10 years older than him. I'm bad at math. See,
but Kazama, a live arm. We haven't seen him pitch yet, but just doing research on him and checking out what's out there on the internet. A guy who can touch 97 plus, and he hasn't reached his 20s yet.
To be able to do that at 19 years old is not an easy feat. You can see him tomorrow at Aces TV. Coverage will begin at about 10 to 7. And first pitch at 7 o'clock. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Aces can't hang on for the victory. 6-3 the final score with the Perth Heat, the victors here in Melbourne. But the Aces a chance to avenge it tomorrow. First pitch at 7, 6:50 pregame show here on Aces TV. For our fantastic production crew and my broadcast partner, Mike Mark Anthonini, I'm Josh Sperber. I want to thank all of you for tuning into the broadcast tonight. We hope to see you tomorrow night on Aces TV once again. Enjoy the start to your weekend, and we've got a long rest of the Aces season ahead of us. Have a good night, everybody.